do 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 do. Close this shit. Open up this thing. Message. Hey yo. Hey yo. What's up? Do a little advertising here. All right. So, the advertising is now finished. And here we go. Hello, everybody. So, here I am. This is what I do now every day to force myself to work on the things that I need to work on. So, how's everybody doing? If anyone's got questions or whatever, or wants to talk about anything, I'll address those questions. I don't really know what to work on right now. Let's see. I could start maybe some Cyberpunk thing for maybe half an hour or so, and then switch over to commissions or something. Anyway, my Discord is open to the group that I have with the best SFMers and things like that. So those guys, they'll pop in every once in a while. And they'll say what's up. I'm actually going to change a couple of these things here. Just going to edit some YouTube information. Oftentimes, people just come in and they just hang out. And we just kind of screw around while I work on shit. I'm just fixing something real quick. I guess I don't really have to do this right now. I don't even remember this. Oh, this is... Okay. This is my special guest here. I guess I'll come back later and fix these. Okay. Just gonna pin this so that people know who's in this video and shit. My God, my radiator is... something is living in the radiator. Alright, so... I should really work on commissions first. But here we go with Cyberpunk. Alright, so... one thing that is for certain is that SFM is pretty boring to watch. People do. So, oh, great message. I heard something, I don't know. I guess sometimes I'll maybe even browse around in this public forum here. Just to come up with things to talk about. Hey yo, invite me to that sexy Discord. Says cocksucker. So that Discord, right? That's a special Discord that is we have an animation studio called Fluid Script, in which pretty much the best of the best is in that group. So a lot of the big people are in there, and they'll just come and go. I mean, if you're a good animator or whatever, if you want to join, you know, just talk to me. And, you know, like when you join our group, you know, we do things like making big productions and stuff. And we have this whole thing. It's hard to explain, but we have this whole thing where we just, you know, we make big productions. You know, we work on commissions, I guess, but independently pretty much. But we all kind of just work together to get things to make shit happen. So if you're a good animator or whatever, if you're a voice actor maybe, or whatever else it is, like any of the other jobs that we have in there, because there's like a number of different kind of roles and tasks that people do, then, you know, just like hit me up and I'll tell you like all the details, and then the owner will invite you. So, but yeah, Anonymous is in there. John, who hates me, is in there. We have Fredo Frappe, who's a very good FNAF guy, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. He's a good animator. I shouldn't put him in a box like that, but we have Fredo, we have Halo Follower, we have pretty much every big YouTuber in there. Well, I can do sexy voices. Sure you can. Send me those sexy voices then. Alright, so here I am in Cyberpunk Go. God, every time I look at an SFM session, it's like, shit, what do? I don't know. It's always like flipping a coin, like, all right, pray that this session turns out okay and doesn't just instantly collapse into a black hole of shit. Okay, it helps to have a procedure when you're doing things, just to know like what to do next. All right, so this is done here. I have to, okay, so I'm in the middle of organizing my session as well, because this session is going to be sent to Anonymous for lighting, and it's always good to organize your sessions into things that make sense, so that when they get it, they're like, okay, this makes sense. I don't have a characters group here. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. Alright, characters. I don't know what. I do have a characters group. No wonder they're all hidden. Okay. Characters, props. Delete this prop. Put this in here. Okay. Deleting all these empty dags. Nobody likes empty dags. Empty dags are just full of shit. Absolutely nothing. Alright, tools. Scene build. Getting rid of these. I'm almost done with this project, actually. I'm like 75% finished. Pretty much all the animation's done. I'm doing right now like particles and things and just making sure things look sort of final on all these sessions. And there's like 7 sessions, 12-minute show or something. So let's see, point light. Okay, these go into lights. I'm gonna move all these in here. Okay, this, let's see what this is. Okay, that's a cigarette. Okay, this is something that belongs to a different character. I'm gonna copy this, paste it into the next thing. Let me see. It's already here. Let me see if it's here. It's already there as well. Probably not there. Probably doesn't have to be there. Should be here. I'm gonna paste it here. Lots of floating cigarettes. So this I can delete. What is this? I don't get this. Cause this is like disabled, turned off light. Like turned off? How is it even moving? Bruh. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I turn this off. So when I move it, why does it continue to move? That makes no fucking sense to me. Am I fucking tripping? Does anyone fucking see this right now? Not gonna lie, never expected Court having that voice fucking sexy. Well, guys, is anybody else fucking seeing this shit right now? I don't fucking get this. Send fucking help. Like, what? This shit makes no sense to me. This, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thoroughly confused because I don't know which. Okay, so there's 2 of them. But why are they? Okay, I get it now. They're locked to each other. Okay. They're locked together. Okay, that now we're making some sense here. Okay, this was locked to this. Any particular reason why? There's probably a particular reason why, and I just fucked it up, maybe, but... Okay, so where is my particle? Because... Okay. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Okay, so... Okay, the control points here are not behaving at all whatsoever. Okay, so think I got to move. Oh God, let's not do that. I need to see the root transform needs to be fixed. Man, this is some bullshit. Okay. All right. I don't know why. All right. Let's just see if this works. Nope, that didn't work. That's a bummer. Hey, yo, what's the cigar doing? I'm fucking dumb. I don't know if that's directed at me, but okay. Animated light quality test. Yeah, that's so me and Anon were talking about animated lights and using them for this project. And he said it was not a practical thing to do. So, and the reason is because of motion blur getting reduction in quality. So how that works is very, there's a whole thing behind how that shit works, but basically, what's it called? Motion blur gets reduced by like half when you use animated lights. So if you're using it for motion, your motion blur is going to get screwed up, and that test is an exhibit of that happening. Something I didn't share though is I have a point light here. I don't know if people can see this, but this is a point light. I actually have 3 point lights, so people can see this. Non-animated point lights. So here, I'm moving this around, and it's a point light. So I don't know if people can see that clearly, but it's a non-animated point light. It's got its own faults, so it's not perfect. But at certain positions in your scene, if you place it in the right place, you can avoid the jankiness of it, which is the fact that shadows don't always, it has to do with how shadows appear right where they're because it's 2 lights combined together at 180 degrees. And it's hard to explain, but basically the light tiles at the very edges of the FOV, if that makes sense. But anyway, it's good in the sense that, I use it now. So over animated lights, I prefer this method just because, I get to have, they're just much more accurate in terms of like lighting. So like if you want a high FOV light, you can get really, really sharp shadows. Like it's just, you have to kind of handle the shadows in a certain way because they're not like perfect. So yeah, I could turn this light all the way. So I'm going to disable this so that you can see it. It's just a single light on right now. It's this room light. I could turn this all the way down, like almost all the way down, and you still see the light is still on. Let me disable this TV light real quick so you guys see what I'm talking about. Like look at the shadow quality right now, right? It's very shitty because it's almost at 180. But now look, I can go almost all the way to 0. You see, like this is like 0 FOV almost. You know what I mean? And look at these are basically the sharpest shadows you're ever going to get. That's pretty sharp where they match the model's exact geometry. But the light remains 180 degrees. So that's one reason I like using them. The only thing is right at the edges of that light, you can see like how the black in the, like you could see like how this shit in the corner, right? It's like the FOV of the shadows are decreasing. So you don't get as big of an area with the shadows, but where the shadows are hitting, they're super, super crispy. So anyway, that's just something that came out of the whole animated light test stuff that I didn't share, but that's what I use now for point lights and things like that. But you could use this for more than just point lights. Like I use it for like, I was thinking of using it as a fill light, but I haven't experimented with that, but also for sunlights and all this other shit. Okay, so going back now to what I was doing. Struggling, which is the SFM experience, the struggle. Struggling with SFM. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna disable these locks here. Disabling these locks. I'm gonna just reset all this shit, even though I don't want to do that, but I'm going to have to because I don't get how to fix that issue there. And then I'm just gonna reparent it all here. Okay, looks like it's connected now. Now I got to lock the cigarette to the control point. Playhead. Lock the cigarette. To the control point. Alright. I don't really like that glowy particle thing, but it's just there for now. I'll probably change it later. Another thing Anon showed me yesterday, or no, like last week, are these animated gobo textures. Super cool. I just love this shit. I just love it. He used it in one of his videos, but here, I'll just show. Oh my god, like I just love the fact that, because like normally I think what people do, so I have a moving thing in the background here. Normally what people do is they just hand animate stuff like this, like hand animating the different colors and stuff. I've done that like in the past with a few things, but this animated shit is just, when you radius this shit out, it just, all the colors blend together and it actually looks like it's emitting from the source here as like, just like how you would expect, you know? So, I don't know. Anon just, I mean, he discovered that probably years ago now, but he told me how to do all those things like just last week. I never thought of that before. Animated gobo textures. And I have tons of really cool materials that I could use that shit on. Oh my god. Endless possibilities. I was also thinking of maybe using these animated lights to create, I don't know if people know about this, but like when you see, I don't know if people have seen the movie Heat. I'm just going to show this clip real quick. Heat. What's the main character's name? Edie scene. I don't know. How do you spell Edie's name? I don't know. But they're like on this hill. Let me see if we can see it here. Is this it? I think this is it.
I'm going to buy your company, and there's nothing you can do.
So on this, I don't know if people can hear the sound, but it's okay. You don't have to hear it. But basically the city, right? So the city, whenever you're like looking at a city, it's always shimmering, right? It's always like glittering. So if you could see here in this shit right here, the lights in the background, they're glittering. Like, I think as of right now, there's no actual way to do that, to like say make an SFM session glitter like this, without being it super complicated or something. I don't think there's a way to actually do this kind of effect here, that glitter. Like the one thing that I have done, which I've done before, is using just like taking a footage from some here. So I have a thing here to show what I'm talking about with this glittering shit. I think this is it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but it's glittering in the background here. So what that is a, like you could see it's kind of glittering, which is really cool. I don't think there's a way to do this in SFM yet, but this is from GTA. So that's like, I don't know if people recognize that, but the background is from Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, it shimmers because, there's a little bunch of moving lights and stuff, and, how light moves through the atmosphere causes that glitter and stuff. I was thinking that maybe there's a way to do that with animated gobo textures. Not exactly sure just yet how that's going to be done, but I think there is maybe a way to do something like that where, if you have like if you have like the texture of a light that shimmers, and it's maybe it's just a bunch of lights. Because, like, for example, like this, let me go to TV here. No, I need to go to my light, TV light. Okay, and the projection. So I have a projection here, which is the same video. It's actually the video. I'm going to mute this TV. You see, I kind of don't have a texture available for this, so whatever, I can just undo it maybe. I'll undo it in a sec. But anyway, this projection is the same texture, it's just a projected light instead. So this is what Anon showed me the other day. Anyway, so this projection, right, I could probably, so if you radius it, right, it's going to look like shit, right? So if you see on this clip editor here, it starts to do this thing, right? So the first thing that I guess I noticed is you get really good bokeh effect on it. I don't know, I guess that's just my imagination, but the idea is that if you have just enough radius on a certain kind of texture, you can get this sort of like shimmering, moving bokeh. So okay, I guess because you can't really see the effect I'm talking about because you can't play it in the clip editor here. But if this were to play, the lights would kind of move and shimmy a bit, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking if I have a special kind of texture, I could use that texture as an animated gobo light or whatever, and then imprint that, say, on some kind of texture where I want that shimmer. I've yet to kind of experiment with that, but I think it's a real possibility for... All right, let me just undo everything. Okay. Anyway, I think it's just a real possibility for getting that effect without having to go to a game and get it. So. Okay, so anyway, let me get back to work with the struggles. All right, so I'm here. All right. Floating cigarette. Yeah, so let me get to this cuz this scene I think is done. This part of the scene is done. There's no lip sync yet, but we'll be using face mocap for this. Ignore Dwayne Johnson. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Let me just do some last organization on this scene. Deleting all these cameras. Changing the name of this camera. Yes, so if anyone wants to talk about anything, bring it on. Like, totally makes SFM a little less boring because SFM is like naturally boring to watch. So anything anyone wants to talk about, that's cool. Okay. Delete this empty DAG. All right. Now the next part. I'm going to do, again, some session organization. Renaming this shit. Meow. Motherfucking cocksucker. Cocksucker mother... Oh. Fat ass black Jesus. All right. Deleting tools. Deleting this. I think cocksucker is my favorite curse word. Motherfucking cocksucker. But I don't really use it at all. I think you have to have a certain kind of personality to really pull that off. Motherfucker. Yeah, fucking Dwayne Johnson. You know, the whole idea was going to be Dwayne Johnson with cyberware. Dwayne Johnson with cyberware, like cyber mods and shit. That was the idea. but that idea has changed now. It's no longer a thing. Okay, moving my point lights into lights. Getting my scene build group together. Moving this up here. Deleting cameras. All right, let's see where we're at. Got a bunch of cigarettes here. Okay, let's find out which ones we actually want. These are muted. Because they belong to the storyboard, probably. No, they don't. They're just there. Anyway, we're using those. Oh, you know what I can do? This is what I did last time. I took this cigarette. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these. Took this cigarette. Let me see what this is. Delete. Delete! Delete! Alright. Okay, so we're taking the root transform. And this is what I did last time that fucked me up. Default. No, that didn't fucking work. That didn't fucking work. Okay, because I know why. Let me see. Is this even in the right place? It is. This cigarette has to be the lock. And now we just move the transform to this. Did it not go into the exact position? That's so rip. Oh well. Alright, then we get rid of these. Get rid of the old cigarette. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why that's not working. Okay. When I took the lock off, okay. Well, is that the exact? It's sort of off by like a few microns. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Well, whatever. It doesn't even matter, this shit. Because it's the storyboard version anyway, so kind of a waste of time. Oh. Dwayne Johnson having sex with Cyberpunk characters? I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think that's even legal to do, bro. Like, pretty sure that real Dwayne Johnson is gonna kick my ass if he finds that shit. I'm pretty sure there's something out there that exists with exactly that. Okay. So you know what? I decided, after wasting a bunch of time, that she's not even going to smoke in this scene. So, her hand is here, and her hand returns back to here. We're going to playhead this. We're going to playhead the arms. Like so. We're going to round tool. We won't see it in the shot, so it's not a big deal how clean it looks. Because right now this is just a reaction shot, so she's just listening. Let me see, actually. No, this is not a reaction shot. She's actually saying lines here. Okay, we're gonna... I wonder... I mean, are we even gonna see the smoke? Probably not. There should be smoke, though. There should not... There should be smoke. Because everyone's smoking in this shit. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable those. Copy them. Undo to get the locks back on. Paste them. And just move them. See if we can even see smoke from this angle. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to make a special particle that has a lot less drag or something, just so I can get the smoke up here. Because the smoke doesn't really travel that far, but there should be smoke there. So I'm going to just move on from this because I'll do that last. I'll do that later. Smoking. All right. Okay, some more session organization here. The boring stuff. Do something real quick. A comment from user Eigen. I suck at trying to bring good talk themes, not gonna lie. I don't know, when I see SFM, the only thing I think is SFM. Well, just say something about yourself, or, you know, I'm a good conversationalist, so, you know, just say whatever, man. And, we'll talk. Because when I think of SFM, I think of suffrage. I think of Jesus dying for his people. That's what I think when I think SFM. It's got to be every session, every time you get on SFM, it's a miracle that this shit actually happens. the way you want it to. Like, all right. Tools, deleting tools. Camera 6. Okay, so deleting my cameras. Deleting the group, changing the name of this. We're making progress, we're making progress. Moving all my lights. I wonder if these are the... This is the Animu lights. So I want... Oh, God. Okay. So what we're going to do... We're going to copy my light setup here. TV light. Paste it here. Get rid of this TV light. This projection. We're gonna get rid of this TV light. Actually, so this one is a... So this is one that I need both of these things for. I need both of these deco. I need both of those. And it's too difficult to kind of just do this right now, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to delete this TV. I need to get rid of this projection. All right, so this projection, this is an animated texture that has to move, so I'm not going to really do that. Harry has 9,000 hours, so do I. I have the same hours as Harry. I have almost 10,000 hours, actually. 9,600 or something like that. I started using SFM like fucking 8 years ago, 10 years ago now. Man, how long ago was that? 2012? Yeah. It's really been that long. But I'm more of a sleeper kind of person. As in, not sleeping while my shit is rendering, but I make lots of I make big projects, so I don't have like, you know, many projects to show for the 10 years, but I do have big projects that is a reflection of how long I've kind of used this program for. But yeah, I have 10,000 hours. And Anonymous only has 4,000, which is crazy to me. Because we've been working together for like, what, 3-4 years? He must have only had 1,000 hours when we first started working together, and he was way better than me back then. Yeah, but the thing is, like in the past, like before people like Anon came along, nobody knew anything about SFM. Like there was no knowledge of the engine back then. In like 2015, 2016, like the only people that really knew was Zach Scott, a couple forum goers that are cool, like Marco Skull. A few others, I don't remember their names, but those guys, I mean, there was just no information about the source engine. Like no one knew how to use it. So typically people with the highest hours, you know, are going to be on the same level as people like as today, because there was just no knowledge back then. Nobody knew shit about the fucking engine, how it worked or anything. All right, so anyway, this animated texture has to kind of move, but in order to sync it with this thing, it has to be a special length, because I did some magicalness. So let's go here. I need to do show hidden controls. No. Okay, declicking scene hierarchy. Screen BM, right? This is the thing that controls my animated texture here. Can't really see the actual length, but just hope that that's the length. So I'm going to copy that. I'm gonna go here, save. What I need to do is I need to go to this TV. I need to go to show an element viewer. My screen. Okay, so all of that is set up. I need to make a create animation set for element. And this will make this little special thingy here. And then I just paste it, the data that I copied here. Okay. And now to sync this up, what I gotta do is I gotta take the projection, because the projection is in time. Fuck me. Oh, fuck. Alright, show hidden hierarchy. This projection, which I didn't copy, because I'm an idiot. Oy, okay. Do I have the projection somewhere? Okay, I need this projection. Paste it. Okay, and the idea is we want the two things to sync up together. And this is kind of just the long, hard way to do this. Pause, but let's see. Okay. TV. Oh no, I need to do this thing. Okay. So they're playing at the same speed. They just need to play the same footage at the same time. I'm going to move this until I see this girl's eyes. Oh my god, bro. Fuck me. Alright, they're slightly behind each other. So I want to kind of go right to the point where... There we go. Now they're in sync. Pretty much. They're not exactly in sync. They're close. They're close. Doesn't have to be exact. It's not an exact science. If you want to be exact, you can do that. But I'm going to go here. Paste. And then I'm going to shrink this down till it matches here. And now, it's not perfect, but it's close enough. And so now the whole room is illuminating the same stuff. Making sure. Yeah, okay. It's illuminating the same stuff. This isn't even the video that's going to be used, but I'm just using it right now just to get a feeling for the lighting, because, you know, a lot of this stuff is like creativeness. It's about basically all the animation shit is just gets in the way of what is inside your brain. So the whole idea is get what's in your brain into the program, however that may be. And it'll give you idea of it supplants your idea long enough when you're working on these big kinds of projects. It keeps you going, so to speak. So even though this isn't the video I'm going to use for lighting, for lighting and getting the feel of what it's going to look like, this is how that works. So I'm going to delete this, move this light into TV light. Why do I have two lights now? Okay, well, deleting this one. Show hidden, that in there. Okay, so now TV goes into scene build. Now I don't need these, but they're just there anyway, just in case I decide to change my mind. Anyway, she's listening in on a conversation. My fill light here is a bit too strong. And will kill me. So let me turn this down to maybe something like this. You want it light enough to the point where it's like you can kind of see her. Not so bright that it's, you know, overpowers the scene. So she's listening, blah, blah, blah. Let me see this scene here. All right, we're going to take this light, this TV light. We're going to paste it. We're going to delete these other two. We don't need to change the TV this time. Some more cleaning up of this session. So let's see, he's got a cigarette here. Let's see which one is his. Let me see, is this? Okay, so there's going to be 2 cigarettes in this scene. All right. Dwayne. Storyboard. Okay, this is the old Geo model. Old Geo model takes up a way too much space, way too much memory. So I'm actually going to delete it. This will save me a buttload of memory. Like 700, 800 megabytes of memory. I kind of need it to get the... Okay, so let's just do that. Because I kind of need it. I can copy this. I can put it here. I'm going to move her, so that she's roughly in line with my storyboard version. A comparison. Okay, cool. I don't know what I deleted. So this goes into characters. Name this Dwayne Mocap. Okay, so sci-fi door. Control room off. These are scene build elements. Deleting these are animated lights. So I could delete those. Props. So we've got Geo's shit. Let's see, how many of these do we have? How many floating cigarettes do we have? So this is hers. I'm gonna just group them. And then we have his. Then we have a storyboard version. I'm going to probably delete. Okay. So grouping this, calling it Dwayne's Big. Goes into props. Deleting this stuff. Oh, we got a floating TV remote. Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana. I'm reading this SFM Central Discord here. Eh. You can tell exactly where I place full body keyframes for key poses, and as the animation goes on, they become more sparse as I'm doing heavy lifting in the in-between. You know what I find funny? How my workflow is adapting over the course of this animation. For a graph editor? Yeah, that's not even... That's like... I'm not a graph editor person, but I do use it from time to time, but I think the issue with the graph editor is exactly like the thing is like I don't know. It's been so long since I actually used it. I can barely talk about it. But I've had the similar problems he runs into. I endure those same problems, so and once I got motion capture, basically you don't really need the graph editor at that point. It's just the motion editor for the most part, unless you need characters to interact with each other, like if they're touching or if they're smoking a cigarette. That's when the graph editor can come in handy. But even then, I still avoid it as close as possible. But, you know, everyone's got their own workflows, which works. But yeah, all this stuff is mocap and motion editor, and that's it. Drinking some beer, yo. Drinking Smirnoff Ice Pink Lemonade. Like a bitch. I'm just kidding. Oh, what's everyone up to? Is anyone here? Let me see this chat. Yeah, no one's here. Oh well. If anyone wants to chat, feel free to chat. It's just me and SFM. And anybody else. If anyone wants to talk about literally anything while I struggle. So I actually have to like do commissions right now. But you know, commissions, it's a struggle to stay focused on commissions. Anyway, so he's holding a cigarette. That's what he's doing. So I'm gonna import onto his fingers the animation of holding a cigarette. And now I just move this into place. Yeah, I've pretty much expedited my workflow to the point where I don't even have to do anything. Everything is just basically a sequence pretty much. Like I've already made most of the animation preliminarily, you know? So hand idles, face motion. I just load it and then that's it. And then I change afterwards, like specific details, like if I want something special. All right, so that's the cigarette position. I'm gonna save it. Always save. You never not want to save. And now, let's see. This is attached to something here. I don't really know what it's attached to. So I'm gonna just disable it and just hope that it wasn't attached to anything important. Oh, it was attached to the storyboard. Okay. So now I'm gonna attach it to his arm. His hand, I mean. Playhead. Okay, now he's holding his cigarette like a boss. And his hand position is all funny. So, you know, no one holds a cigarette like this, you know? So it also looks like he's smoking at the beginning. So I'm probably gonna fix that up. But first, let's get his hand into a position that makes a little bit of sense. So around Here is when it has to kind of change. So let's see, from the camera's point of view. Let's see what we can get here. What we're looking for is just a cool look. Like, what angle does it look cool at, you know? Kind of just seeing. I mean, this angle's pretty cool, I think. The old Asian way of holding a cig. This is how they hold cigarettes in Japan, like this. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good, this position. His forearm probably needs to change as well. Let me think. Might even just change. This looks pretty cool too. But it's way too twisted. Way too twisted. Might even go back to a previous hand idle, maybe? I can get a different looking hand. Because I have one here, actually. Which is what he had before. Let me just see what it looks like. Fingers. Left hand. Let's just see what this looks like. It looks kind of better because it's not a... It's a little more manly, if that makes sense. The other one was made on a female character, so... This one is a bit more, you know, fist-like. I don't think it's in the right position, though. Yeah, it could be improved, the position. Right, that looks okay. I feel like I want his hand to look like a fist almost. It's kind of what I'm gravitating towards. Let me just kind of settle on something here. Like, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like his hand should look more like a fist rather than what this is, which, well, I think this model has some issues with it, which is that the bones don't have proper pivot points. But I'm not exactly sure, so... Anyway, I would like a more fist-like thing. But for now, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm actually going to just animate the hand right now. Oops. Okay, let's do this. Animating the hand. Dwayne. Surprise, Dwayne. All right, so with his hand, so I don't know if you can see that it's moving. Smooth it out 5 times. Now we're gonna smooth it. Now we're gonna animate the forearm because the hand and forearm kind of moves in the same sort of. They have to move at the same time, so to speak. Okay, let's see what that looks like. All right, now we're gonna smooth it. Let's start from here. And let's see what this looks like. So, okay, it goes completely frozen. So we're gonna smooth 3, 4, 5 times. All right, I can see some things that I can change about his hand, actually. Let me find the hand. So this, I'm gonna playhead it to make the motion less. We're gonna round tool the problem area. And actually, I'm gonna do another pass here on this thing. It goes a bit too deep, but so we're gonna do this. And then it goes here. We're gonna flatten this out with a round tool. We're going to smooth. Round tool that as well. Yeah, I really want that fist for his hand, you know? I feel like his hand is just moving a bit too much. Shouldn't be too much. Subtlety, subtlety. Okay. Where's my Discord buddies at? Where's my Discord buddies at? Oh, because I'm an idiot. I didn't join the Discord. I'm stupid. Lol. I'm such an idiot. Okay, I entered Discord on my server for my friends to join if they want to join and talk. I'm such a stupid. I'm so dumb. What the fuck? I was supposed to be in there like for an hour ago. Okay. All right, well, if anybody in my Discord, hey, Hey, Rihanna, what's up? Yeah, I just now entered the Discord, so if anyone wants to join in, so okay. Um, Let me just real quick explain why I'm doing this, right? So I'm streaming now because it's how I can like I'm doing it not really for like, I'm not trying to like make money or anything like that. It's just hello?
Hi,
Hey, who's this? Sorry, I'm not I can't see the name.
it's Anon.
Oh, what's up?
Uh, Not much. Just grinding at the animation.
Grinding, bro. Yes, every day. That's what we must do is to grind every day.
I won't finish this if I don't work on it. So
Me
I
too.
gotta force myself to work on it.
Yeah, I shouldn't even be working on this Cyberpunk thing right now. I need to be working on my commissions, but I'm gonna just do that a bit later.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
actually was about to take a short break and do another render just to see what it looks like in motion.
yeah. Let me just say hello to Rihanna real quick. She says, "Say hi to Anon for her." So if she says hello.
I'm reading the
Oh, you're reading
chat.
it.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier that I have so I in this Discord I have so the people in FluidScript is like the best people in SFM in my opinion. I think like we have most of the best people in that community. But I'm in this so when I'm in the Discord, people can just kind of come in and just talk and shit if they want. Just hang out and chill. Like that's the reason I'm kind of streaming is to just so I can work on the stuff I need to work on and also hang out with like my friends pretty much and just talking shit and just we work on SFM. Like I guess my guess is you work on SFM too while I'm doing like while you're in here, right? Like Anon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the idea. It's just like a chill thing like people can come and go and just it's like whatever. So yeah, Rihanna, like if you're just bored, like you could just pop in, say hello. You don't even have to speak. Um, like you can even just watch the stream. It's just that's what this really is. It's just a thing for me to do my work because I don't do it. I'll procrastinate if I don't force myself to do things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to finish things. Yeah. So that's why I'm doing shit. And the way I look at it, right, is like if you do something every day, 4 hours a day, it'll eventually get done. So
I'm just keeping that effort up.
yeah, like as so long as you do it every day, I mean it's SFM. Like the only reason things take so long is because it's so easy to just
I mean, not really. I
procrastinate.
feel like what I'm doing here would be difficult in pretty
Oh,
much any program.
oh
Of
yeah,
course,
of
there are
course.
some elements that would be easier if I were to do it in Blender. Like, although the keyframe animation would be just as difficult as in Blender as it is here in SFM,
Yeah.
in Blender I can just be like, oh, let me just turn the skirt into a cloth sim. Okay, great. I'm done with that portion of
Yeah.
it. But because I'm using SFM, I gotta figure out how to take this animation, import it into Blender, which I did. But then I have to figure out how to add physics to the cloth,
Oh yeah,
but
that's what we were
not
talking about last time, right? Is the
because
cloth
I can't.
physics.
But I can't export cloth physics, so I have to figure out a different way. I have to get the armature to act like a physics object and
Right.
have the rig itself move as if it was a cloth sim.
Yeah.
So I can take the baked final animation of that and then put it back into SFM.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I mean, SFM has its limitations and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's also, I think the reason people still use it, so to speak, is because of just, it's got things that like, like the access to all the assets, like, even though it's even, you would think like, it's difficult to actually get assets into SFM, but we still do that. I think like
Oh yeah.
it's just widely available because I guess there hasn't been any SFM2 games yet. I think once there is SFM2 games, maybe that'll change.
There is Half-Life Alex.
Right, but only Half-Life Alex. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got
I mean, there's technically also Dota 2 and
yeah,
Steam VR, but those aren't. But like, Dota 2 is on a very different version of Source 2, and Steam VR is pretty, I guess, limited
right,
in
yeah.
terms of what it has to offer for assets.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion. Is like I think once we start seeing more assets, more people are going to start moving to SFM two. But I think right now, like I think that's a big reason why people are using SFM one is
I
because
mean, yeah,
it's also
there's
just as good of a program as everything else. That's the thing too. So like, you know,
there are some pretty big names in the SFM community that I know that do not specifically want to switch to at least Source 2 in its current state
yeah,
because they have discovered that there are things that Source 1 does better than Source 2. And when I mean that, I don't mean as like an engine. It's like Source 2 is better, but in terms of what the end user can do with what is provided to you, Source 1 is better in some areas because like Source 2 lacks a lot of like shader stuff. When I talk about big names, I'm talking about like a lot of people who do model porting.
right.
Sundown, for example, doesn't want to use Source 2 because Source 1, he's figured out how to do more things in Source
Oh
1
yeah, that too. Yeah,
than in Source 2. Like Source 2 cannot, with the current, again, with like the shaders that are provided to the end user. I know like if you had like, engine level access like Valve did, of course you could do fantastic, wonderful things. But
right.
as far as like what the end user is provided, there are some things that you can do better in Source 1 than Source 2. Granted, there are also some things in Source 2 that you can do that Source 1 can't do, but like it's you pick and choose your battles, I suppose. For him, like Source 1 is better because he can do more things with materials in Source 1 than Source 2. But, look at Harry 101 UK, he's like doing ridiculously cool things in Source 2, and of course that works better for him. So, yeah, it's fun. We get choice.
Right. Yeah, and I think also with SFM, well, like you said, the modelers are like a real important part of like just how we're able to even use. Well, the modelers are an important part to like things being used. So if the modelers don't move over, then pretty much the animators aren't going to move over. Because we need the models. So
Oh yeah. Look at
know,
the Steam Workshop, Like that's so many people rely on the Steam Workshop
yeah,
for grabbing
definitely.
stuff.
Definitely. Like I think that's like just a huge driving force is just the models and
Got a lot of models on my computer that I would love to release, but I can't because it would not be very ethical.
what does that mean? Like illegal ethical or are we talking like
I mean, okay, technically, I
rule
think
34 unethical?
no, no, no.
Okay.
I tried that once, but I was like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Did
bother.
you really try that once?
Yeah,
Like,
I did.
oh shit. Okay. Well, how do you feel? Well, I'm
I
not
don't feel.
curious or anything, but
I don't feel any. It's like literally any other model. It's whatever. Um, but I'm talking about like I've yoinked a lot of models from Sketchfab and um Marmoset Viewer, which is the Marmoset Viewer being like one of the more popular the 3D model viewers for websites like ArtStation. Um, and granted, a lot of them are like characters, and when you get them, they're all OBJs. They're not rigged, and I don't know how to rig, at least well, so I don't bother rigging. But with like props, like I have a fantastic model of the lightsaber that Luke Skywalker uses because the guy made it, uploaded it to ArtStation. I managed to yoink it, and it is so good looking.
yeah.
And I also added like my own modifications, like a blade that can retract, and has like a cool glow effect and stuff. But I can't release it because
Yeah,
I
cuz
was
that
never supposed to have the model in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah.
I guess you could say the same for a lot of game models. You're not technically supposed to rip game models and release them on the workshop. Because think about it this way: when you take a model, it's from a paid game. You paid for that asset. It's kind of a proprietary thing,
Right.
which you are then taking and redistributing for free. But
Yeah.
a lot of game companies don't care because A, it's not worth the hassle, but
Yeah.
B, in
Also,
most
it's too
cases,
expensive. No one's that's the thing.
it's
It's
not even that. It's if you make promo art, or well, I shouldn't say promo art. If you make art with a game asset from, say, Overwatch, in essence, it's free marketing,
right. Yeah,
right?
that's why they let it go. Also, is because of that free marketing aspect of it.
Yeah, and I mean,
But you know,
some
you got
people.
companies like, you know, like like just for example, like a lot of you know, anime people, like, you know, if you upload their thing anywhere, they will chase it down. And I mean, the reason that those companies like are so uptight is because really they probably don't see it the same way. You know what I mean? Like when they see someone ripping assets, they're like, that's our money that you're taking, you know, instead of
Yeah,
how,
although if
say,
you're smart,
Cyberpunk or TF2 sees it, which is like, oh, this is free marketing. So,
yeah,
you know,
because like Activision Blizzard, say what you want about them, but like I know someone who is hired by them because he made really cool promo art with their assets,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's like, I think that's the good way of doing things because it literally is marketing. You are marketing their product and probably helping them make more money, even though what you technically did is not allowed. In the end, it's the good thing. I think the only companies that are like really like super anal about it is Nintendo had an issue with Rule 34 stuff, which I guess is understandable because the kind of market that consumes Nintendo games would also typically be too young to consume Rule 34 content. But also and this one I think is really dumb, and I just can't wrap my head around it. Is I forget the name of the company, but it's the company that's behind the Warhammer games.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know the company
Okay, but
name.
you know of Warhammer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys. There's like a whole like Warhammer 40K community in Gary's mod and Source Filmmaker, where like a couple guys, I think one guy in specific who I forget his name, it begins with a J, was like making or at least porting. I don't know if he was making them from scratch. It wouldn't even surprise me. Warhammer 40K models, pretty good ones too. Like with a lot of options, you could change colors and styles and stuff. I don't know enough about 40K lore, but there's like different sects of stuff, and there's like you can change a lot of stuff. Anyway, he was making all these cool Warhammer models, and the company behind Warhammer, again I forget their name, intervened, and he had to take them all down,
Yeah.
and now and it wasn't even just Source Filmmaker. Like it specifically said no to all that, which I think
Yeah.
is dumb because hey, marketing. But it goes beyond Source Filmmaker because like fan animations in general, like you might have heard of this one fan animation on YouTube. I forget the name of it, but it's really good. Um, really good. He's not allowed to make those. I think something changed since then, but legal issues. It's all stupid because it's marketing. It's putting your name out there,
Yeah.
their name out there. Like I don't really care much about Warhammer, but like I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, damn, that's cool. you know. Um,
Yeah, it's
I think it's
definitely,
dumb.
I think hold on, let me just read what Rihanna wrote here. Yeah, you can finish things on SNM box has a good SFM too, but I haven't tried it yet. Classic Anon. Anon is not Anon if he doesn't rip assets.
Yeah,
Yes.
again, it's not the same if I'm taking just a random dude's model off of ArtStation and then re-uploading it to the workshop.
Yeah.
That's I think really unfair. So like I'm doing it because I think it's fun, but
Right.
like I'm not even distributing them anyway. So
Right.
I
Right.
I mean I kind of would like to because some of these assets are assets that are like literally better than anything that other guys can like get if they wanted to. Like the best again, the lightsaber model. The best one I could find was like some guy's port from the one in Battlefront 2, and it's fine, but it could be better. And I have a
It
better
could
one.
be
I
better.
just I can't upload it.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this lip thing here. I
What's
think
wrong with
when
the lip?
when people smoke, right, they purse their lips. I'm a
Yeah, I
smoker.
get.
I should know. Presser. They press their lips when they have the thing on their.
Does that guy have shape keys? Oh yeah, he does. Okay, okay, cool. He's got fax flexes just like Geo. Cool.
I need to.
You should probably find a way to get the inner part of the lip to open. I can do that with HWM. I forget how I'd go about doing that with fax.
Uh, I'm going to.
This is early for you. Whatever happened to your messed up sleep schedule?
Oh yeah, you're right. We're always up at like fucking 5 in the morning. Yeah, dude.
Worse. Dude,
Yeah.
I've had like chats with her like at like noon, which seems like a good time until you realize that that's noon and she hasn't gone to sleep yet.
Wait, what? Wait, you
Yeah,
said you've had
exactly.
chats at noon?
Yeah, like it was 12 o'clock for her, and you'd think like, oh, that's a perfectly fine time. That's the middle of the day. What's weird about that? And then you realize that it's because she hasn't even gone to sleep yet from the night before.
Wow. With who though? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about.
Rihanna.
Oh, okay. Well, she lives on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I know, but like, that's still
So,
it's all that time zone weirdness. All right,
yeah.
I gotta render this. I want to see how
Okay.
this looks. Actually, let me fix that motion first. It's doing a weird. I do this thing now where well, not really now, but like I do this thing where I just select like a single axis of a bone in the graph editor and I just edit that single thing. So like the y axis of the hand, for example, I'm just messing with that. Ah, weird rotation.
Fuck. Screwed something up. Damn it.
Mood.
Mood. Okay, so I want the jaw to open slightly.
Oh, I don't like that rotation at all. Why does the graph editor have to do this to me?
Yeah, bro, the graph editor struggle, man. The graph editor struggle, dude. I'm gonna go dead. I will see you guys later.
Yeah, she said she's going to bed, and that's what I was saying. Like,
I'm gonna
that's
go
what I was saying.
dead.
Like, what happened to the messed up sleep schedule that we all know and love?
Okay. All right, Rihanna. Well, I'll be streaming pretty much every day, probably. So you can always just hop in and say what's up and chill with me if you want. So good to hear from you. People I don't know if I should like advertise people. I guess it doesn't matter because nobody watches this, but if people do watch it, you know, Rihanna's a good modeler, you know,
Yeah.
so send your money over to Rihanna and she'll make you. She made all these models that you see here. Well, actually, she didn't make them, but she got them working because they weren't working before.
I helped out.
They were not in a shape where, you know, I could use them. So she got them all ported up and rigged up and did a bunch of extra special things that I needed to make things that I need, like the face stuff, you know, the extra face stuff, which is great. Because I can't wait to do the face mocap. That's gonna be so fun. Sorry, what?
No, I said the stuff with the face mocap, right?
Yeah, the face mocap. Yeah, she had to do all that. So I'm really happy that yeah, there's like no modelers that would probably deal with me like she does. So I'm glad. I'm glad she's around. So if people need a modeler, Rihanna is your person to do that. But I don't know if she wants me to air her out like that. I don't know if she wants me to free advertise her like that.
I mean, probably be thankful for the money opportunities.
I wouldn't mind either. Okay, so I was opening this jaw. Now I'm gonna
that's one thing that I actually want to talk to her specifically about is the jaw stuff. Because I noted when I was messing with Geo that by default, Geo's jaw is not fully closed. If you open her lips, you'll see that her teeth are not touching, which means that her jaw isn't fully closed, and there's no way to fully close it. By just using the shape keys.
Are you sure? Isn't there a chin razor that does
there
this?
is, but chin razor is there is a muscle that goes over the chin, and it pushes up on your bottom lip. Push up on your bottom lip, and you'll feel that your chin will slide upward. It's and there's like your chin.
Sorry, I meant jaw clencher. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But it doesn't move. It doesn't
don't
move the teeth though. I'm looking at.
Yeah.
You see my stream, right? I'm just moving
Yeah,
the.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking
Yeah.
at it. Yeah, so jaw clencher, that's a tricky one because jaw clencher, a lot of people when they port models to Source Filmmaker, they will make jaw clencher close the jaw some more. But that's not what jaw clencher does in real life. Because jaw clencher is a thing that should only activate when your jaw is already fully closed.
True.
And when
Yeah.
you clench your jaw, you're activating the muscles that you would use to close your jaw. But of course, your jaw isn't going to close any more than it already has.
Yeah.
But what will happen
Do you
is
mute?
muscles on the side of your face are going to bulge outward. I'm going to close your jaw.
Bro, do you mute? Do you mute?
Right? Do I what?
Do you mew?
I don't know what that is.
Mewing? It's like jaw exercises to get the Chad jaw, bro.
No, I don't. I have a
You should.
pretty decent jaw, I think, already. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fucking
Put
Chad.
I wish.
Chad. Yeah.
Put your hand, kind of at the back of your cheek, low, like right where your jaw ends and begins to curve upward, right around there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then close your jaw, and
Yeah.
then clench your jaw, and you're gonna feel a muscle bulge outward.
Yeah.
You put your hands by your temple. Next,
Yeah.
clench your jaw again,
Yeah. I know.
and you're gonna feel more muscles up there begin to bulge out too.
Mhm.
That is what the jaw clencher shape key should be doing. I include that in the few models that I have worked on,
I see.
because it's a visible thing. You can see it
Right.
from outside. Like it's like it's an obvious enough muscle movement that you can actually see it. If someone is clenching their jaw because I don't know, they're stressed at something, like he's like someone's kind of like listening to something that he doesn't want to hear and he's just kind of like all tensed up, he's probably going to clench his jaw on and off, right? You can see that bulging happening, and it's kind of a universal thing. It's kind of subconscious because it's not obvious, but we know what it is. So it's kind of like oh, he's probably like gritting his teeth right now kind of thing,
Right.
That's what jaw clencher should do. But again, that's a thing that only happens when your jaw is already fully closed. So with HWM or with fax at least, the jaw by default needs to be fully closed. That is what the jaw drop flex will obviously do, is drop the jaw.
Right.
HWM kind of gets around this because with the jaw vertical flex, it's one of those flexes that begins at a midway point. You know what I mean? And the midway point is closed. And then when you slide it to the left, it clenches the jaw. When you slide it to the right, it opens the jaw. And you can kind of get away with having the jaw a bit more relaxed in its default in HWM with the jaw vertical flex, because if you slide it to the left, you can have it so it closes the jaw a little bit and also has that kind of
jaw vertical. Did you say jaw vertical flex?
Yeah, jaw V.
Oh, you're okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, V for vertical.
Let me see. So the thing is, like with this Geo model, she has a bone, I think, for the jaw too. Well, I guess.
But it is misaligned.
What's misaligned?
When I mean it's misaligned, I mean if you go into the graph editor like a normal person, and you
graph editor like everybody else in the world, yeah.
The axis handles for rotation. You'll see that it looks aligned, right? And you're like, oh, cool, we're in the business. But then you go and you rotate the axis that you'd use to open and close the jaw. You go into the graph editor and you see that two of the axes are being moved, not one like you'd think. Which means that what I would normally do for a situation like this, it would actually be really easy to remedy, because I could animate those minor jaw movements. Yeah, it's fine in the motion editor. But if you go to the graph editor, everything goes to shit.
You know what? Because here's the thing. So like I made.
Oh my god! I know what you're gonna say. Don't say it. I'm gonna say it. Go into the motion editor and close her jaw a little bit by default before you animate.
Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. I just wanted to actually mention. Let me find the thing here. I made these models, so that's probably why the jaw isn't aligned, because I made the models, and this was like the first model I ever made actually in that program. So I made some elementary mistakes, and
I don't think it's that. Yeah, so
yeah.
I
Let me.
think
Here it is. Okay. So here's the
just had the
jawbone.
epiphany. It's if I have go into the motion editor before I begin animating the face and close the jaw a little bit using the jawbone before I even begin animating the lips, then it should all be a-okay.
Okay.
But assuming I didn't do that, what I would do is in the graph editor, because it's just one axis that opens and closes the jaw. It's really, really easy to animate simple opening and closing, because I have one singular graph to animate.
Right.
But when it becomes two, I can't sync those at all. Well, I mean, I know it's possible, but it's like it's busy work bullshit that I don't want to deal with. Yeah, it's. I kind of want to see how it looks on your end if you do it, because that's how it was for me. But if you
Wait,
do it,
what
I'm
am
not
I
sure.
doing? What do you want me to do? Because I'm a little
Go
lost.
go into the graph editor.
The graph editor? Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, no, I just
Okay.
bear with me. It's really simple. What I just want you to try doing.
Okay.
Okay. Go into the graph editor, and for the jawbone, the bone, not the flex, the bone.
Okay. For Geo, right? For Geo.
Yeah, for Geo, because I don't have the other model. I don't know what his deal is.
Give me one sec then.
For Geo, make 3 keyframes for the jaw.
3 keyframes
for the jawbone.
Okay, so this is her jaw inside of her mouth, so it's separated right now.
Yeah.
Here's 1 keyframe, 2 keyframes, 3
make
keyframes.
3. And for the middle one, I want you to open the jaw by rotating just one of the axes handles.
Well,
the one that you would
which
use.
one? Just the normal one, the up and down?
Yeah, the normal one that you would use if you wanted to open the jaw.
Okay.
I just want to see what happens in the graph editor.
All right, do you see it?
I'm waiting for YouTube to...
Okay.
Yeah, yours is doing the same thing mine is doing. You see how you edited a single axis, right? You rotated that one axis. But if you look in the graph editor,
it affects
2 of them have moved.
2 of them, yeah, I see it, the green one.
Identical amounts. That's obviously a problem, because that's not the behavior that you would want. You want that to only be... So, like, if I were to go in and edit the graphs, it's just so much messier. I can't animate.
Why does it do that? Why
I don't know.
Is that...
I actually don't know. I changed rotation modes of the axis handle, and it didn't affect anything. Like, it looks fine here because you edited both things at the same time, right? But like, if you went and canceled out one of the axes,
right? Like if I deleted this or something, like if I just
if you get rid of the middle keyframe, like you have rotation Y selected, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of rotation Y. Delete that middle keyframe.
Yeah, I did that.
Right, and then all you have left.
Now I have X here. That's now
exactly. But now her jaw's doing this weird thing where it goes to the side. It opens, but to the side at a weird angle.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Even X moved. It's moving all 3 of them, and I hate that.
Yeah, I see it here now. It's like that's jank, bro. It's jank.
Yeah,
man.
And that's the thing. That behavior shouldn't be happening. So I don't know if it's an issue with the model in Blender or not.
Well, now I deleted everything, and it won't go away. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I just gotta like.
Yeah.
Here
again, that shouldn't be happening. You should probably playhead it when it's closed now. But
yeah, probably delete the model and start again. Start all over again. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, bro. That's why. Look, I mean, that's just one of probably many reasons that I stopped using Graph Editor like years ago. I was reading a comment about. I was reading a Discord. I just randomly read the Discord, right? And someone said, so you showed your hours, right? The 4,000 hours. I was just saying so I have 10,000 hours, which is like 3 times the amount of hours almost. But the thing is, when you started, right? Not when you started, when we first met, because we knew each other for like 3 or 4 years now. You must have had only 1,000 hours, and you were better than me back then, like way better than me back then, right? Because you must have had only 1,000 hours back then.
Probably.
And I was saying, like, even though I have 10,000 hours, the thing is, there was no what's it called? Knowledge of the Source engine pretty much before you got here. You know what I mean? And SFM that group was even established. So prior to 2017, I suppose, there was almost no knowledge of the Source filmmaker thing. Like there was only a few people that really knew. They were very secretive, I suppose, and so for a long time, a lot of us were in the dark. So even though we have lots of hours, like nothing actually got figured out until you and a few other, and the other people there that you see, like that have those good artworks and shit.
Yeah.
No one's really figured that shit out until those guys and you showed up. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was like a dark age back then, man. Like, like that shit with the graph editor, like we didn't even know like what is like, if that was even a thing, like there was no way to even parameterize issues like that. Like we just like, it was either people used graph editor and struggled or used motion editor and struggled, and no one really knew like even what the purpose of some of the tools were for a long time. So I've been using this program for like 10 years, bro, since like 2012, man. And
it's funny. I actually launched SFM back in 2012.
Oh yeah,
when it first released, because I've been in like the Source community for a long time,
making
like,
mods and stuff.
My first I never made mods, even though I wanted to. But I didn't have like the know-how to do any of that stuff, nor did I have the patience to learn.
Right.
But like my first ever PC game, I got in 2008. And that PC game was Half-Life 2. On my brand spanking new laptop that I had back then, which I still remember the specs for. It was a Core i5, 480M, dual core, 2.66 gigahertz. I had 4 gigs of RAM, DDR3. I had an NVIDIA GeForce Go 7150M. And I have to be and it had 64 megabytes of video memory, which, oof, beautiful. But I have to be really thankful for that laptop because it was no gamer machine, of course. I mean, gaming laptops I don't think were that popular in 2009 anyway. And but like most laptops probably, I don't know. But this laptop had dedicated graphics by NVIDIA, and it was very much so on the low end, but it could run Half-Life 2 at 1024 by 768 at high settings at 25 plus frames a second. And boy, did I play the shit out of that. So yeah, Half-Life 2 was my first PC game.
Yeah.
And I got Half-Life 2 because of Gary's Mod, because I knew Gary's Mod was a thing long before I even knew Half-Life 2 was a thing, because of YouTube. And so I got Half-Life 2 solely because I wanted to play Gary's Mod, because at the time, you couldn't get Gary's Mod standalone. You had to have a Source game. And of course, Half-Life 2 was like the game. So I ended up getting Half-Life 2. I had no intentions to play Half-Life 2, but I ended up playing it anyways, and it blew my fucking mind.
So Half-Life 2 was your first game? Like that was the first
PC game.
Because
I had a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Where I played other stuff.
I think my first game. Oh man. Okay. So like back in the day, right? So like computers weren't that good. So even with SFM, bro, like we were struggling to get frames on SFM, with like computers and shit. I guess 2012, yeah, the time when 480p was the standard on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like
2012, we had 1080p.
I don't remember, but it was so long ago, bro. I don't know when. Like in terms of time frame, I don't even know when. But I know that back then, like like things weren't as good as they are now. If that makes sense. So. Yeah. we were struggling to get frames, and not a lot of models existed back then. Like, I mean, models were there, but they were mostly TF2. There were only a few games, like, there wasn't like ways to even get good models yet. You know what I mean? But so like before joining SFM, I was a part of this thing, Warcraft 3 modding community way back, dude. Way back, like 15, 6, like I think when I was like 10 years old or something. I don't remember, but I was young. Not 10 years old, probably like 15, like before high school, like middle school. I was part of this Warcraft 3 like modding thing, and it's really cool. Like that's kind of like the thing that opened me up to SFM later on, was trying to find like a software, because like I was making like movies and shit with Warcraft 3 modding, and they'd have like little competitions and shit like that. And man, people were making some crazy shit with Warcraft 3, bro. Like people reproducing World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3 type shit. I was like, damn. Like if you look at Warcraft 3, like you could see like the difference in graphics and like gameplay is like, how do people do this shit? People were like coding, you know what I mean? Like people were coding and shit, Warcraft 3 and stuff. But they had like a very intuitive system. Like they basically, if SFM had Warcraft 3's like scene building mechanisms, because it was just the most intuitive thing ever. Like it was just so easy to just make things, you know what I mean? Like it was so easy to like you know how like in this program we have to place things one by one, you go up, you load a model, and then you got to copy paste it, you know what I mean? In Warcraft 3, you select a model, right? You could select a model, and then you could just drag your mouse around on the screen and it'll just place all of them, you know what I mean? Like it'll just place them. Same thing with like the terrain editor.
Modern editors are like that, actually.
Yeah, a lot of modern things are like that now. I mean, a little more complicated, but a lot of modern editors do that. And I kind of wanted SFM. The thing that disappointed me a little bit was that SFM wasn't like that, but it was but it was possible to animate. That was pretty much, there was no other programs back then that could kind of get to that next level, right? Because there was Warcraft 3, then there was this. Like I think most of the people that are my age were in Warcraft 3 modding, you know what I mean? Like that sort of community before moving to SFM, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean, like, people my age, like,
yeah.
And then they changed up to SFM, and I probably stayed ever since. But yeah, things have, man, it was a real dark age before you and other people got here, bro. Like, real shit, dude. Like people didn't know anything, you know what I mean? Like there was no knowledge of anything back then. Yeah, and no models, no tutorials. I mean, there were tutorials, but it was the age of what's his name? That guy who made he was like the only one that actually made tutorials for a while. It was
I know Private Jack.
Yeah, there was Private Jack, and then there's the other guy. He's a real nice guy. He sounds like a movie star. I forgot the name of that movie star's name.
Like a movie star.
What?
So, I don't know. I thought it was funny. It sounds like a movie star. It's funny. I've not really watched many SFM tutorials on YouTube. I kind of learned mostly on my own and by posting in Discord. And when I did need a tutorial, it was like an oddly specific one, like how do I do this specific thing versus like setting up a poster for the first time type business.
Yeah.
I just worked out the program on my own mostly because a lot of it was pretty easy to work out. Again, like '09 picked up Gary's mod. I messed with that for a while. I never really like made mods or anything for it, but I still dicked around on like the technological side of it.
Yeah. Argo Demon? Do you know who this guy is? The pony guy?
Oh, yes. I know of him.
Yeah, he was like one of the first ones that actually, because there was a lot of common knowledge stuff out there. Argo Demon came and really said a lot of things that were more novel, you know what I mean? And got people even more knowledgeable of the engine. But he was one of the old heads.
The old heads.
The old heads, yeah, the OGs, man. I'm trying to find this guy's fucking name. I don't know where his tutorials are at, but he's got like, they were like the first like tutorials that people like would go to, you know. I guess he's just not, his name just doesn't appear in this shit anymore. But he made the series. It was like he's got like he numbered them. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like number 23, number 73.
Really, I don't. I know of him. I've not really watched his stuff.
Yeah. I don't know where he's even at.
By the way, you can't hear any of like the stuff that I'm doing on my end, right?
No, I can't hear
Okay,
anything.
just checking. Because of course I'm still doing this dancing stuff, so I have music.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
That plays every time I move the playhead.
Yeah, I can't hear it, so you're good.
Okay, cool.
Now I'm obsessed with trying to find this guy's name. Fuck. Oh god. I don't know. I don't understand why I can't find this shit. Not this guy.
All right.
Well, whatever. I can't find his name, but yeah, he was one of the first few people, man, that was just really like that's all we had back then was his tutorials and shit. It's like fuck. And they were super basic, you know, like
I think I know what his name is.
Yeah, you definitely know who he is, but it's just I don't know. YouTube doesn't want to show me who he is anymore.
This guy, Argo Demon?
No, not Argo Demon. But yeah, Argo Demon is one of the guys who was like really like pushed SFM forward, if that makes sense.
Which I don't like, but if you scroll back, SFM tutorial week number 3, depth of field, 8 years ago. SFM tutorial week number 4, creating a sun, 8 years ago.
That's Argo Demon?
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago. Yeah.
I don't want to go and watch these because I'm probably gonna like look at it and be like, "This is all wrong."
Probably. No, yeah, like.
So this is before I even began SFM. Because again, I launched it in 2012, but I quit it the same day because I could not work shit out. Yeah. I have a render somewhere when I launched it back in 2012, but I don't know if I like deleted it because it was going to be on another computer or not.
No, this guy, he makes really good. He actually makes great animation, like really, really good animation. This guy, Argo Demon, with the ponies and shit. Really, really, really good shit, man. But yeah,
he's still doing stuff.
Yeah, he's still going. I wonder where he is. I wonder if he's not. I guess he's not in Source Filmmaker Group. I don't know. Maybe he is. He should be.
This. Oh god, why am I watching My Little Pony content?
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Okay, I mean this is fine, but this is the kind of thing that bothers me a little bit. I just watched this and I saw nothing special about it. It was animation-wise, it was fine, but it's like man's been in the game for 8 years. Yeah, 8 years, and it doesn't look much better than.
Right, but that's the thing. That's what I was saying is like the knowledge of SFM today and models and all those other things didn't exist back then. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you're looking at his recent stuff. I don't know what his recent stuff looks like, but
I'm watching something he uploaded in November 26, 2021, and the first thing I noticed is SFM Bloom.
Bloom? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I guess he's not in your group then. He's not in Source Filmmaker Group because he doesn't know about the Bloom memes, dude. All right, let me see here. Okay, so
this is something that I noticed about some people, which kind of boggles the mind. I'm going to use Private Jack as an example because Private Jack is Galaxy Brain.
Galaxy Brain?
Galaxy Brain. Like he knows so much about Source Filmmaker and like oddly specific stuff and minor stuff that like if you have like a technical issue with model porting, he probably has you covered, you know, assuming it's not something to do with like PBR material stuff. But they're like, you know, setting up shape keys, you know, skins, weird model quirks, like I don't know, the scaling on something broke when you know, he's probably got you covered. And all this other technological knowledge behind Source Filmmaker. But I look at his art, and I'm like, I just think to myself, like, I've seen people who have launched Source Filmmaker that same day for the first time who have made better stuff.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to understand how that kind of like gap is a thing. And it's not just him. I've noticed it with other people too, who have loads of time and practice and stuff using Source Filmmaker, but who have had like zero improvement on the artistic side of things, and who
Right.
make stuff which still doesn't look good. Like you're spending that much time, but you haven't improved.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I love doing in Source Filmmaker is experimenting,
Right.
seeing what I can do better for the next thing. How can I, and like, every time I go out, I'm like looking at stuff from like an artistic perspective, like, and not even necessarily an artistic perspective, but like, how would I go about replicating this in Source? Like, driving back from home from a highway, not from a highway, but 3-hour trip on the highway, sun's low in the sky. I'm looking at how the light is striking across the landscape, and I noticed something. That I already had an initial concept of, and I kind of already knew how to do, and that's a shadow under a car when a light is low in the sky, the sun is low in the sky. And if you look, there's two elements to a shadow that most people should know, and that's the very direct shadow coming from the immediate light source, the sun, but then you have an ambient shadow under the car, which is occluding the sky, right? But if you look closely at the shadow under a car, when the sun is low in the sky, it's divided into 3 parts, actually. You've got an ambient shadow facing towards the sun, right? This is the shadow, like, it's occluding the sky, but you've still got a bit of shadow facing towards the sun, even though that sounds kind of weird. It's there, it's a thing, and it's tinted yellow-orange. Then you have the shadow immediately under the car, and it's tinted gray. And then you have the shadow facing away from the sun, the direct shadow from the sun, and that's tinted blue. It's 3 parts. And there's a gradient under the car in that ambient shadow where it goes from yellow-orange to neutrally colored to gray-blue, because the side of the sky facing towards the sun is going to be lit up by the sun. That section of the sky is going to be brighter, and it's also going to be yellow-orange. And it's occluding the blue sky from the other side, which is why that part of the shadow is yellow-orange. The other side of the shadow is going to be blue, because you've got the blue sky that's reaching that area, and the car is blocking out all the yellow-orange from the sun and the sky, right? So you've got this 3-tone shadow under the car, and I know how to do that in Source Filmmaker, but I got a better idea of what it should look like, because like I'm looking at these cars and I'm like, all right, I've got reference, I have an idea of what's going on in the scene, let me figure out how to do this properly in Source. But it goes deeper than that, because in the same drive, I came across big rigs. They're everywhere on the Florida Turnpike, right?
Yeah.
Any major highway is going to have big rigs. But what I noticed was something very interesting, and I haven't actually tried doing this in Source Filmmaker yet, but I have a very good idea on how to do it before I even go about doing it.
Okay.
And that is the reflection of light coming off the side of a truck. Because you know how a big rig, most of the big rig trailers are white, right?
Okay.
And white is obviously the most reflective color there is.
Right.
Because it's white, right? White reflects everything.
Yeah.
But it goes deeper than that, because as you've probably noticed, the sides of those big rigs are also very glossy. So you probably already know how to set up a bounce light in Source Filmmaker. You put a light against the side of the object that you want the bounce light. You give it a radius, which makes that light source roughly the same area as the object that's emitting the bounce lighting. You match the color so that it is the color of the surface, as if it was lit by the light source. So if like it's a yellow light that's striking a white surface, the reflected light's going to be yellow, so that bounce light is also going to be yellow.
Right.
But for like a big rig under a sunny day, it's going to be white against white, and it's white bounce lighting, very boring.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's low in the sky and it's striking the side of the big rig, you can see something interesting on the road. And that is because it's not just a big white surface, it is a glossy white surface. So there's actually two separate elements to this bounce lighting. What you have is you have a generic white glow coming from the side of the big rig, right? And it's kind of a low level glow. It's there, but it's soft, so it's not like super immediately noticeable. What is noticeable is the caustics.
Caustics?
The caustics on the cast onto the road from the truck, because what's happening is, because it's a glossy reflection, the light isn't bouncing and just scattering, but it's also bouncing and then landing right into the road in parallel. So you've got the sun, you've got areas on the road where it's being lit up as if it was lit up by the sun, as if it was on the other side of the sky. Because it's bouncing, but it's not scattering. It's just kind of the rays are still going parallel when they're hitting the ground, right? So you've got three different.
Do you have like a picture where I could imagine this? Because I'm just.
I actually took pictures. 1 second. I took pictures of cars. I don't know if I took a picture of the big rig. I gotta go through my gallery. One moment.
Okay.
I'll like annotate it if I can find it.
No.
Is it fresh?
No. Hold on. Sorry. I spent so much time getting this to line up, and I didn't lock it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just share it wherever in somewhere. Let me lock this shit to this particle, dude.
I'm just gonna search big rig on Google Images if I can't find any on my phone.
I did this wrong. This should be attached to a cigarette. Okay.
I found the pictures of the cars. I haven't found a picture of the big rig yet.
Okay.
Okay. No, I didn't take any big rig pictures. All right, I'm just gonna Google image search big rig and see if I can find an example. Big rig. Oh, apparently there's a place called Big Rig. All right.
All right, at 93, these activate. So 93. Save. Actually, there should be 2 of these smoke particles. This one has a start time of 85. And
I can't seem to find a good picture on Google Images. This makes me sad.
92. 7 seconds. I'm gonna attach.
But yeah, the thing is that there were 2 elements to the bounce lighting that I noticed was coming off of a glossy surface, like the side of a big rig. And I was thinking on that drive home, how would I replicate that in Source Filmmaker? Because it's
And then you went and did it?
easy. Huh?
And then you went and did it?
Sort of. I didn't like do like a big rig. Like if I was going to like replicate one to one what I saw, I would like load in a big rig. But I did like kind of bring in elements of that into a couple of things that I did. Like there's this one car render where I did where I kind of like tried to make it not just have a blue bounce light coming off the side of the car, but also like a bit of a like a more glossy, caustic looking reflection coming off the side of it. I don't know, it's hard to describe. And remember, I was doing that lighting test of the cube.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about like how when light keeps bouncing back and forth, so it's got multiple bounce basically? Is that what you're
No,
talking about?
it's not multiple bounces. It's two different types of bounces coming off of the same.
Like at different angles, you mean? Like a bounce light coming at different
Okay,
angles?
every object has like two different components to how it reflects light. There's a diffuse component and there's a specular component, and that doesn't just mean how we perceive the object. Like, you know what I mean by diffuse and specular,
Right.
where like a red ball has a red diffuse, but it also has like, I don't know, maybe like a white highlight where like, there's a reflection from the light.
Right.
But it's not just how the object looks, but it's literally how it reflects light into the scene, because that is how we see the object.
Right.
We're seeing reflected light off the object, but that light isn't just reaching our eyes; it's going everywhere.
Right.
So it's going to cast light in the scene just as you're seeing it.
I see.
So a red ball is going to have like a reddish bounce light coming off of it from 180 degrees or so.
Yeah.
That's what it does. But there's also going to be specular light being reflected off of that ball into the scene. And you're not going to notice that specular light most of the time, because on a ball it's round, so that specular light is still going pretty much everywhere. But like on a big rig, which is a massive flat surface, you begin to see what that specular light component does.
Okay.
And it's so hard to describe without like a picture of it.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, it's hard for me to envision, but I think I know what you're like. I think I get what you're saying, but also I just it doesn't come to mind.
Do you live in a place with big buildings?
I do. I live in New York City, so
when walking down the street by these buildings, have you ever seen reflections of the sun cast into the pavement because you're standing next to like a glass building?
Definitely. Oh, next to a glass building? Well, I look at the world around me when I'm like thinking about lighting, but never thought about a glass building. Never
necessarily glass, but any building that's like shiny, and you know the sun is hitting that building, but it's also reflecting the sun, and you can see spots of like bright stuff on the pavement in front of you, like it's casting its own lighting straight into the pavement.
Right.
That's the kind of effect that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Where it's a glossy reflection.
Yeah.
So
I've never thought about it walking past the building, but you're right. I probably should think about it next time when I pass by.
Yeah, because the light isn't scattering because it's a specular reflection, and because it's a flat surface, it's going to look as if the sun is on the other side of the sky, because it's as if it was coming from the building instead.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what I was noticing with like big rigs, because the side of most big rigs is glossy and it's flat.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the reflections and I'm like, and it's a thing that like it's so specific that there's not many places to add it, but I just it's that kind of thing. This is one thing. Because have you ever played Dead Rising 2?
Dead Rising 2? No.
Okay. Well, 2010 game. They added that effect into the game. Like, when the sun is low in the sky and you're walking outside, your character will be lit up by reflections in the buildings, and those reflections will have their own shadows too, which is baller. But like, they added that in. I don't know, it's just these small effects. And again, that's just one thing. Like, I'm looking at this everywhere I go. Like, how would I replicate this kind of lighting in Source? It's that kind of experimentation, though, which I love to do. I do that all the time. I have so many sessions where I just open it up, and I'm not trying to make a poster. I'm just trying to mess. I'm trying to experiment. How can I make something better? How can I do this? How can I do that? Even the cube thing. Like I was trying to do it to flex a little bit, but at the same time, I'm trying to flex as best as I can. So I'm like figuring out, all right, so the wall is kind of lit up and the floor is kind of glossy. How do I make it look like the wall is being reflected into the floor? You know, without using cube maps or any of that bullshit. That kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like doing it.
No, yeah, it's I agree. Like with you. I agree. Like well, I do the same thing you do, but in a different way. In like not with like quality, but more like ambition on the next project. You know what I mean? Like for example, like I had an idea for Tracer Origins. You know what I mean? Like all right, like that was like my first like real thing. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, with Tracer Origins, I want to be able to do this, and this. So for the next project, this one, right, I want to do this, and this, which is like a level up from what it was before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have the same kind of like thing that you're talking about. It's just a different sort of, I guess, way of doing it.
I don't do big projects. I only do small ones.
Right. Yeah. So you're thinking, it makes more sense with like with quality and stuff. Mine is just like a thing with project ambition. So like, because like the first video I made was like a 1.5 minute thing, but I know that I always wanted to make something like a TV show. You know what I mean? That was like 15 minutes long, 20 minutes long. So yeah, I feel like in the same way. Well, I feel like everyone should feel like that, like the way that you're talking. Everyone should try to do that, have the next thing that you're doing be more than what it was the last time. So for me, like, I think one reason that I like actually talking to, well, everyone, like not just you, but basically to everyone is just like, I'm always looking for new things. Like I want to see who's got the new shit, not new shit, but like new ways to think about things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's always like the next thing. Like, okay, what's the next kind of level? Like what's the thing that'll bring things to the next level? So like with me, motion capture, I think motion capture, like back when I was, because this was back like 5 or 6 years ago when mocap was kind of new, right? I mean, I think everyone knew that motion capture was the thing, was going to be the big kind of like step. But for me, it was like, yeah, this is like what I need for, like this is what I need to do, because that's like, if you actually want to do something that's 20 minutes long, you need mocap. If you're by yourself, if you're by yourself, it's just, making something 20 minutes long is just, I mean, this is already taking long enough, and this is with mocap.
There are people that do that, like the Winglet.
Yeah, Winglet, yeah, for sure. And his talent shows for that too. Like he uses the graph editor. That's hilarious.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't think you can do that kind of like the straight ahead method. There's a reason Disney has existed for 100 years, because the straight ahead method is just, that's the classic way to do things. So you can never go wrong with it, so to speak. What?
Sorry. The only reason I'm doing straight ahead for this is because the key
to torture yourself.
Well, the key poses already exist. I just have to copy down a few things in advance, and then I can kind of just go from there.
Yeah.
If I were making an animation from scratch, without referencing, I would probably block it first.
Totally agree. I agree. Well, I do blocking, but not in the same. Well, I used to. Oh, okay. I'm not even going to go into the history of what I did.
Like you can block out a scene before you actually block out the animation itself.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like where characters are.
Yeah.
As
that's like that for me. That was always the biggest issue. Was like, where are characters? You know what I mean? Like when you do an action, where do you go? And then that was the issue with pose to pose for me, was like where things would be oriented. It was just so difficult. Like that's just from what I remember doing pose to pose. And yeah. So Meister AC asked HD Smoke, isn't he in Fluid Script? Meister AC.
I think he is, or at least he was.
He was. Was he the one who left?
Probably. Yeah, he did all the particles and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
All-
Boss Particle Man. Yeah, Mr. AC. Yeah, he left the server.
which,
Oh,
by the
sad.
way, there is a very useful particle that he put onto the workshop, which I actually want to add a suggestion for. And this is a thing that I didn't know existed until I did that one Death Stranding poster, and that's the campfire fire particle,
Mhm.
because I don't use the campfire fire particle as actually I don't really use it much to begin with because I just end up using Half-Life 2 fire particles.
Right.
But it's the campfire fire particle is like a really good base to use for making like any fire particle really.
Yeah.
Because like I'm that guy who like I edit particles a lot because I want them to fit my own needs. Um, but the campfire particle. But like the problem that I have with it is that not that it like looks bad or anything, but it looks underexposed. And I found out when doing the Death Stranding poster that there is a function for the sprite shader called overbright factor, which treats the particle as if it was overexposed. It's great. It's so good. And I think the campfire fire particle needs to have a healthy dose of overbright factor in it, simply because I mean it's outdated, but like I don't know if you were to make a new one, because let's face it, lots of people add fire into their posters. So fire particles in general are going to be super popular. Um, but like what what I did in the past for making cool looking fire was before I lit the scene, I would turn up tone map scale a lot. Because it's a full
Yeah.
like whatever I did. Yeah, because
Tone
whatever I did
map.
was a full
I
scene
remember
build.
that shit. Particles being too dark and shit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to make fire look bright. How
Right.
do I do that? Well, you
Yeah.
can't copy paste fire particles. That's
That's what we
gonna
used to do. Just
that
copy
doesn't make
paste the particle over and over
that doesn't
again.
make it brighter though. That just kind of makes it more opaque. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it
it
can
does.
make it
Yeah.
a little bit brighter, but not like the kind of bright that you want, where
Right.
it looks begins to look legitimately overexposed.
Yeah.
So I turn yeah for trails. Okay, that makes sense. But eh.
Mr. IC said, not anymore. That fire particle is outdated by this point. Overbright doesn't work on unlit generic for trails. Okay, you were
Yeah.
reading that. I see. Yeah.
But like,
Yo, Mr. AC,
funny.
HD Smoke. He asked HD Smoke because he's looking at this particle here. This is with the help of Source Filmmaker Group. Let me just save before I open the particle editor tool. All right. Okay, particle editor tool. I think it belongs to. Oh man, I actually can't remember where the original particle came from. Oh, it's a workshop thing. It's a workshop thing.
I
It's
wonder
the
who
smoke
made
from the
that.
workshop.
Actually, who did make that? I wouldn't be surprised.
Let me see. Let
One
me
sec.
see.
I'm looking right now. Oh my God, Steam's being really slow at the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fucking the fucking nose pass meme, dude. That's so crazy that he made that shit.
HD smoke. I searched HD smoke and I didn't find HD smoke.
It's
I'm
this
finding a lot of HD other things.
it's this thing
Oh,
by Taco VFX.
Taco VFX.
Yeah.
Yeah. That smoke, frankly, looks awful. That looks
Yeah, it
awful.
needed a little bit of love. So with some help
Okay.
from you and some other people, we got this
Yeah, it
the
looks
smoke.
too.
I think it was just you who actually helped me out. I don't remember, but yeah, we this is a edited version of that particle.
Yeah, it looks too particle-y, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, like what I would do is I turn up tone map scale before I
He said looks bad.
before I edited lighting, because if I increase the crap out of tone map scale, it overexposes the particles.
Mhm.
And because I'm doing a scene build, I don't have to worry about tone map scale like messing up the sky or anything like that. So
Right.
but now I figured out overbright factor is a thing that exists and I'm in love with it because it's so beautiful looking.
Yeah, I don't know anything about particles, so I have no idea. No, like
I
no
do think
clue.
I do think that smoke looks a bit thick at the moment. I do have to say.
The smoke
Um,
is. I mean, there's. It could be better. Totally. Like it could totally be better. I don't know. I just.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I
I
can
think
fix that.
honestly. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it. If you actually want to change it,
Yeah,
like if you ever like get if you want to change it, then you can. If you think like you can get a better version of this, but otherwise, just leave that
take
shit.
what you have and just mess with it in the particle editor until I like how it looks.
Yeah, see, I do that, and it never goes to how it never goes into the direction where I like it. It always goes in the direction of this is not working.
Well, because right now I think there's too much of it. Like a cigarette doesn't put out that much smoke. Just
Yeah,
doing
and it's
that.
also slower. Like a real cigarette is kind of slower indoors, at least.
Yeah,
Outdoors,
what I would
you barely even see
probably
it.
do is lessen the lifetime of the particles.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
And
Where is this shit?
probably decrease the alpha just so that
Oh, you know what happens when you decrease the lifetime or whatever it's called, the play time, the time scale. So it's at 0.5 right now. Like let's just say I put it to 0.1. The individual particles start to like pop up, if that makes sense. Like they begin.
I'm talking about the lifetime of the particles in the particle editor. I'm not talking about those parameters.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, those are the only parameters that I like to touch.
Yeah, no,
Everything else is like,
I'll jump into the particle editor and no, because I don't want the smoke to persist as long in the air.
right.
And I was also going to decrease the alpha. Probably also, Mr. AC said it looks gray or black.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably make the smoke a bit lighter and then
Right.
decrease the alpha.
Yeah, that's probably the
So
best
that
idea.
it's lighter in color, but also again not as opaque looking.
Right.
That
Yeah.
should look good. Then again, sometimes I think it's a good idea to make the particles darker in a dark scene because even if the smoke is white, it should be gray or black even in a dark scene because smoke is just fine particulate. It's going to be lit up by the scene around it.
Yeah.
In Source Filmmaker, if you're in a really dark scene and you have smoke that is colored white, it's going to be colored white. It's going to look like it's glowing in the dark.
Right.
So you need to adjust the color of the smoke for a per scene basis. You can't just have one universal smoke particle that looks good. You can fake lit particles by using the particle lighting function, but with a thin trail like this, I don't think that's a good idea.
That would be cool though if
Yeah.
if it was like, because I know that effect where it's like it's almost like you're in a like a club or something where they have the fog machine and it's like sometimes the fog is only lit up when there's light, and when it's dark can't really see it. So I can imagine that being a really cool sort of thing.
You can do a very limited version of that in Source Filmmaker. The particle lighting in Source is not nearly as cool as like the particle lighting in like CryEngine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still has its uses, but I don't think it would work for a scene like this.
Yeah. All right, let me push forward here on this because I've just been playing it over and over.
A scene with like a lot of smoke that's like everywhere in the scene, then like particle lighting really looks cool.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta edit the thing that I'm doing too.
Right now I'm cleaning up the session so that it's organized for you when you get it, which I don't know when you're gonna get it, to be honest. But it's gonna be probably. It's going to be after voice acting and after the lip sync is done. Because basically, I want to send you the finished final thing from my end, so that I only have to hand things to you once, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, let's see. This. Yeah. So, doing some cleaning up of this. Organizing the session so that you can, figure it, that it's easy to figure out. So I'm going to end this stream at 10 o'clock because I don't want to upset my neighbors. Fucking people are like, forget it. Just like, they're crazy. Like I can't even talk past 10 o'clock. So
Oh man.
yeah, it's ridiculous, bro. Lady came up to our apartment and just rang the bell and shit. It's like, come on, yo. I'm just speaking. Like, is that against the law to speak in the house? But
It is.
yeah, and this is New York, the loudest fucking place in the fucking world. It's like damn. Like they can't take noise like that? It's crazy, yo. Where do you live, by the way, Anon? You said you live in Florida, right?
Orlando.
Orlando. I know Datillo moved there like 2 months ago.
Orlando?
To Florida.
Uh,
I don't know where in Florida, but
we met a dude from the r/SFM server once. It was pretty fun.
oh, you met someone from IRL?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I met Vindicate.
Face reveal.
Yeah. I met Vindicate. That was pretty fun.
Wait, who'd you meet?
Vindicate.
Vindicate? I don't know who that is.
He's regular on the server. He used to, you know, it's funny. He used to be a mod before I demodded him.
Lol. Imagine fighting in real life.
No.
Like, yo, why you demod me, bro?
He knows why I demodded him.
All right, what is this? This is storyboard. Geo story.
Loud.
You know, everything is done, by the way, like the animation and shit. Like almost everything is finished. I'm just going in and fixing things and stuff and making sure like things look proper, you know?
Yeah.
There's a few models that need to still be replaced, but like I think I have a one shot here where it's still Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, but I need to get his mocap from iPySoft. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of going in and putting in the final touches. I did everything basically already like a month or two ago, but I was just waiting for models. So I got the models recently, like 2 weeks ago. So with the models, you know, I could get this done. I'm supposed to be working on commissions, bro. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I think after like 10 o'clock, that's when I'll probably jump into, you know, commissions and stuff. But because how sometimes like it's hard to concentrate when you're having, like, for example, like talking right now. It's actually hard for me to concentrate, but that's because I'm very bad at multitasking.
Yeah.
So
like I need to be working on my own animation, but I'm just staring at it right now.
Yeah. I feel like that's half of SFM is just staring at the animation for about half the time.
Look, so now I'm like looking at stuff. Okay, there is actually something there that I have found that I do want to fix. So let me go and do that right now.
Yeah.
Before I go and not do that. Okay. I was worried that Source Filmmaker froze for a moment, but it didn't. So I'm pretty happy. Okay. There's some foot sliding there that I didn't add a step into. Let me do that. Whoop, loud. All right.
Get rid of the cigarettes.
That's what. Oh my god! What a weird step. Okay. Oh, her foot twists before it moves anywhere. What? Oh no. Okay. I have to. This is the problem.
This is why you should stream, so we could see your struggle with the graph editor, dude. That'd be fun. It would be fun to watch the struggle play out.
Oh my god! And it's
you're doing pretty good, yo. It looks pretty good despite like probably the hardships that you're going through right now, though.
Thanks.
Dance animation is hard, man. Dance.
I'm trying to get as much detail into this as I can. Like,
dude, dance animation is probably the hardest thing to do next to fighting. You know, like that's top tier like difficulty. So you'll never catch me doing that shit, man, unless it's with motion capture. Like, you know, I actually have motion capture of me dancing.
Whoa, what the hell? What just happened? Whoa, the graph editor just decided to do weird stuff. Okay, never mind, we're good. Okay, let me... Oh, SFM. So weird. So quirky.
All right, I'm gonna move her arm so that it's down here.
Ooh, that movement is actually a lot longer than I thought it was. Okay, so I got to extend that out. Let me extend that out.
I'm about to pop open my other drink here. I'm drinking a Smirnoff Ice pink lemonade.
Yeah, I still haven't refilled my alcohol here, which I don't want to do. I might do tonight, actually.
I haven't drank like liquor in so long, dude, because of COVID, man. Like,
Why is COVID stopping you?
well, nothing's open, so like, there's no bar. Like, I mean, you
Okay.
could. I mean, things are open. I could go, but it's like, I don't want to do that and risk getting sick, man. This is New York City. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna catch COVID, this is where you're gonna catch it, you know, because there's so many people and shit. So, I just haven't gone out, man. Like, I stopped working in April.
Mm-hmm.
So I would only because I was working throughout the pandemic. That's the only place I would go was to work. But then in April, right? So that's when I quit my job to do this kind of thing, and then. But I haven't really. I mean, it's basically been quarantining for me. Like, this is kind of just quarantine because there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. So it's actually a good thing, actually, because that means I can work on SFM and actually do this. Yeah, so I guess that's a good thing. But also, it's like, man, it's been like 3 years since I've drank, man. Like, since COVID, I haven't gone out with my friends and hung out, yo.
And there's a difference between drinking and drinking.
You mean like alcoholic drinking, like what I'm doing now? Like,
Yeah,
just like
like what you're just doing is just casual stuff. I'm talking about like,
hardcore
you know,
depression drinking.
you know.
Wait, say that again.
I said there's a difference between like you're drinking Smirnoff Ice. I'm talking about like chugging whiskey.
Oh yeah,
just
but that's what I'm
straight
talking about. Chugging, like drinking liquor, like liquor,
up.
liquor. You know, not this soft shit. This is some soft shit right now. Ice pink lemonade, bro. This is just like a. Well, it's got 4.5 alcohol content, which is nothing, but
It's nothing.
yeah, drink a couple of those though. That's the thing. Once you drink a few of them, then you're like, all right. But yeah, it's not like liquor where, you know, refined taste and alcoholics.
Oh, there we go. Now that foot motion's looking pretty good.
Let me go get this drink. Hold on. I wonder if Mr. AC is still there. Why'd you leave FSP, man? Is it because nothing's happening?
That is a valid reason to leave.
I mean, things are happening, but well, only some of the things, which is unfortunate. But hopefully things kind of get back on the road, you know, because
Man, the animation where she twists around, oh, it's so weird. Because like she puts all of her weight onto her left foot's heel as she's twisting.
Mr. AC said, "I'm not here." Okay.
Ooh, does her foot? Oh no, is that an IK handle? No, I gotta lower her fucking pelvis a bit. Because her pelvis goes too high up and it's causing her foot to lock out forward.
Yeah. The rig issues.
Yeah.
That's why, I can't stand the rig issues that I always bump into, man. I just
It's not even it's not a rig issue as much as it's just straight up an animation issue. I let her pelvis go too high and I'm paying for it.
You'll pay for it, well, yeah. The rest of the animation is basically affected by that too. Kind of. It just depends on how long
Thankfully,
you've let it go
really.
for.
It would okay. I just fixed it. I just fixed it. We're in the clear, and actually, I made her heel look better as a result. Because again, she twirls in this part of the animation. She's twirling on her heel, and now I actually made the heel, contact the ground because I can lower the foot enough for it to do that. Um, yeah. So awesome, very cool. Let me look at how that looks from the camera. Actually, epic. That's what I like to see.
I'm almost done. I have 5 shots left. Actually, I have 1,
What were
2,
you doing
3.
today specifically through all those shots?
Huh?
What were you doing today for all those shots? Just organizing, or
Organizing, putting like particles and final touches on things.
Gotcha.
Sprucing up the animation as best as to my ability. I still have to do sim, like earring sim for this character when the earrings move. But I think it's just like little shit. Like I don't know how else to call it, but it's like little shit.
You know, it's always painful to look at in terms of at least this animation. It's looking at what the animation looks like from the perspective of anything that isn't the main camera.
Oh, well, you know what's cool about like for me sometimes. Well, I think this is just has to do with mocap. Well, yeah, I mean for sure. Like for example, her feet are in the floor here. Her feet are just in the ground. So, but I mean, I could fix this technically. I could fix it and it could look normal, but I'm not gonna do that shit. But some shots, dude, sometimes like it actually looks really good from other angles. Like I could do some of these shots from other angles, and they look pretty good. And
Yeah, I'm actually going to try rendering this from a different angle later.
Yeah, like if your animation looks right from multiple, like I think with mocap it's just that's how it happens, just because it captures everything. But like it's worth a shot, like changing up if the animation looks good like that,
Actually, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna re-render the front cam because I edited a few things, and then I'm gonna render a side cam. I'm gonna see what that looks like. I gotta create a side cam though. Where's cam 3?
Yeah, I find myself just like not even like giving a fuck if it's not in the frame. I'm just like, put this arm over here.
The animation looks good from any angle. It's gonna also look good from the main camera.
Yeah,
but
true.
I kind of want this animation to look good from every angle because
because then it actually is gonna look good. Yeah. Okay, so I need to fix this guy's hand here. Shouldn't be too hard. Oh, I was in the middle of fixing the session here.
Almost all of my animations are designed that way, actually, to look good from the main camera and the main camera alone. And I really want to try making an animation that genuinely looks good from every angle.
Yo, do you remember our first project, bro?
Fortnite one?
No.
Okay.
Mario Travels thing. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Dude, I was so hyped for that shit.
That,
Yeah. He said, remember he left a message. He was like, yo, he's going to work in other programs like Maya and shit.
So he's not doing
Bro, and then he came back to SFM, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like I'm still friends with him on Steam. Yeah. He's posting SFM stuff.
Yeah, so it's like, damn, dude. Yeah, that was actually I forgot what it was going to be. It was, well, I guess I shouldn't talk about it because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't appreciate that if I spoke about it, but I remember that shit, dude. It was pretty cool. Was that like the first thing we ever kind of got together on?
Probably. Yeah.
Because Mario Travel, because The thing is, he made a thing for the Saxies,
Yeah,
and I
it
saw
was
that.
good.
Yeah, it was like the first time I really saw really good camera work, like camera, like it was like a Jason Bourne. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
it's
Bourne
funny because
series.
I've seen good camera work before that. There's a guy who unfortunately he has privated a lot of his videos,
Yeah.
so I can't show them to you. But he had really good camera work. Um, I gotta remember what his YouTube channel name is because he still has a few things up on there. I asked him why he privated them, and he's like, "Cause I just don't. I'm not satisfied when I look at them anymore." And I'm like, "I get that, but you should still leave them up."
Yeah, that's sad, bro. It's a sad moment.
Yeah, God, I gotta remember his username. He's in the server, so I'm just gonna keep scrolling till I find it. I mean, I know what his username begins with, so like as soon as I know where to scroll to in the list. Is he online? No, he's not. Okay, is he in the offline list then? Actually, why am I scrolling through that? I can just search through it in the server settings.
Save. Sorry. Freaking nose is running, man. I got COVID.
Oh boy.
No more. Fucked. Nah, I shouldn't joke about that shit, bro. I had neighbors dying and shit from that, man. And yo, my whole building caught COVID, man. And
Damn.
some people, and also at my old workplace, something like 7 people died.
Literally.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Oh my
Jesus.
god, he really fucking yeeted all his videos.
Who is it?
Wow.
Who?
The guy I was talking about with the good SFM work. Wait, no, is this the same guy? I I don't think no, this might not actually be the same guy. No, there it is. There it is. Never mind. Okay, he's still got stuff on there. Cool. But it's missing all the cinematics that he made. No, he's got a couple of them up here still, but none of the good ones. Where's the 20-minute one that he had? It was a fucking short movie. It was awesome. I watched the whole thing.
I feel like I know what you're talking about for some reason. Was it an SFM guy or a Gmod person?
It's a femme guy. It was like
SFM
doing.
guy.
It was like involved drugs and shit.
Oh yeah, that sounds like
Yeah.
some shit I should watch. Fuck.
Yeah, you should be Here, I'll just send you his channel in the DMs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably even watched it already. If it's,
He's not a big YouTuber at all, but
yeah. Okay.
and he's but you know he's posted some good shit. So, my God, Discord's being so slow right now. There we
Oh, save.
go.
I got the blue circle of death.
There you go. I just sent it to you.
Okay. Oh.
You know, like how to create a very popular source filmmaker movie is so good.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen this. Which one do you recommend?
That's the thing. They're all private, so I can't
Really?
show you like the ones that I would want to show you. You could
Oh.
try Operation Lifeline, a Rainbow Six Siege cinematic.
Okay.
Customize.
I'll watch it later, but also I'll just play a little bit of it now just so I could see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it with sound or anything.
Just skip to like a minute in or something, you know?
What?
Just skip to like a minute in for like a vibe of like, you know, like the action. Oh,
I have what I like to do is I like to sit and really watch a movie, you know. Well, I'm like you know, you dress
Yeah,
up
but-
your whole living room and shit. I'm the same way, you know, just gotta sit down and enjoy the shit. Damn, this is nice. Just so far looking at it, it's nice. Vladislav Zarkov.
yeah.
Vladislav Zarkov.
He's also a sound designer and a music guy. So
Oh yeah, that's great. He's just like me.
like he makes the music for this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I have my sound down, so I'm going to listen to that later. Man, is that animated? Like, yo, I have a question actually about ragdolls. Like physics, I guess.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is Mixamo animation.
Okay.
He's really good at blending.
Okay. See, that's something that I wanted to look into, is just like, cuz like
He's in the server. You can ask him.
oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. Also, look at the reflections on the floor.
What, in this shot? In this shot here?
In all the shots. They're subtle, but they're there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, you're right. That is pretty nice.
Pretty sure a lot of that is video editing, because he does a lot of video editing. Yeah, like the reflections here. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all video editing. Granted, you can do that in Source Filmmaker. It is possible to do that in Source.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Sure video editing.
That's pretty good, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, he's in the server, so you can ask him about stuff, you know.
Oh, Mr. AC says those animations are from Call of Duty. So
Call of Duty. Okay. Yeah, figured as much. Because I remember he was talking about a different animation where he said most of it was like Mixamo. Like there was a few custom like of his own in there, but like most of it was yeah. I find it really cool that you can extract animations from games though.
yeah. See, I need to, so and my thing, right? I want to basically make it just a really good fight sequence. It would look like this, but just with less people. So it would just be the main character and then a bunch of like, you know, like disposable hitmen, disposable people.
Yeah, I find it funny how Call of Duty animations are being used to create a Rainbow Six movie.
Yeah, I feel like getting my hands on this animation wherever the fuck it is, because it looks really good. But yeah, like the thing I want to do is like something like this too. Like it's also takes place in a building like this, but it's cyberpunk, you know?
Yeah. That's going to be a bit more complicated, I feel.
Yeah, I have a scene build actually. I built something, but it's I have to go back to it because it looks nice, but also I have to go back to it. I should probably open it just so you can see it.
Yeah,
maybe you
but
can
like
tell me your
that's the
thoughts.
thing that I feel like, even though yes, a lot of the animation isn't his own animation work, it's put together really well. Like the whole package is really good. The sound, like unfortunately it's muted, but like the sound is really good. The cinematography is really good. Like look at this fisheye shot that was just playing there.
Wait.
Like when it was over her shoulder. Like the camera works really good. The lighting is really good. I mean, I feel like from a technological perspective, the lighting can be better. Of course, I'm always going to critique that. Like, but you know, I'm talking about like, you know, the reflections in the floor, the color. Like he's got really good color grading. I feel that screams cinematic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of good things that I like about this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like even I take note. I'm taking notes when I'm watching this. You know, like what in regards of, because even though I don't make animations like this, I kind of would want to in the future. I don't know. It seems fun. Ideally with a team, because I don't have the creative, you know, juices to like make something like this by myself. But you know, maybe if you ever end up doing some more Cyberpunk stuff, like hell yeah, brother, I want in.
I'm curious. Like, do you I guess like have you thought about it, like directing and shit? Like, have you thought about doing something like that, like directing something?
The more I think about it, the more I feel like I just wouldn't be able to.
Oh, okay.
I would happily like give ideas and
Yeah.
offer, you know, critique and my own ideas, but making my own stuff from scratch is not something I've ever been good at.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah, I get
you
I get what you're saying. Like, you know what, know what I kind of wanted to sort of get into is just like a more collaborative sort of way to work on things.
yeah.
With, like say FSP and stuff. Like, it's just, I mean, it's hard to really get into, but sorry, I'm just still kind of watching this right now.
Good.
Yeah, so like the collaborative sort of like well, I mean, the idea is like, there's only so many projects we can all work on and stuff like that and give like manpower to, just because people don't even want to work on stuff. So but like I kind of do want like a more collaborative thing. So I guess like part of things is also streaming and shit. Just like talking with people too. Like it's cool to just have a conversation with everybody and like really get into people's heads and what they think about stuff. And I don't know, because I agree with because like I kind of do want to see that too happen, like just like all the different kinds of stories. And like the thing is like with directing, bro, it's actually like the animation is almost like the easy part. Like, you know what I mean? Like the animation and stuff, that's like the easy part. The hard part is actually writing a good story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I will happily, it's funny, I'm not a writer, but I will happily pick apart bad writing.
A what? I'm sorry?
Man, there's so many examples of like bad writing that I've seen where it's like
I think it's somewhat easier to maybe make a short story of just some event that happens, but like anything that's longer than a few minutes, where you have to make good characters and stuff and tell a story that's more than just the plot of something, it can get pretty complicated, bro. Like that's why, I mean, I can only talk about my personal experience. Like maybe it's not the same for everybody else, but that was pretty good, man. I'm gonna subscribe to this guy.
There's one thing that I do want you to do. Go back and unmute YouTube and play how to make a popular source filmmaker movie.
How to create a very popular source filmmaker movie? Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be if you scroll down, it's gonna be all the way at the bottom.
Okay.
If you go on the videos.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Grammarly to edit.
Yeah, unmute that and play it.
Okay, I'm playing it right now.
My idea is to have a typical bad guys, good guys action movie. There should be a really intense custom soundtrack. Maybe I'll use some special effects. And of course, there should be an explosion.
Rocket incoming!
And when bad guys think they won this battle,
Let's go, move your ass! Now move! Let's do it!
some serious shit is about to happen.
Bullshit! No one would like to watch this piece of cinematic nonsense. Why do you even bother with this so-called original content? No one cares about it. What's really cool is FNAF videos.
Lol. Oh my god, terrifying. Fucking terrifying.
No! That's way too much quality. Way too much. Animations are too complex. No one likes it. Make it simple as fuck.
No! No!
Lol. How accurate is this video right now? Oh shit, that's hilarious, dude. Yo. Oh, is that it? That's funny. You still there?
Yeah.
Yo, that's fucking funny, dude. That is so accurate that it's scary, because that's exactly the sitch, bro.
Yeah.
That's the sitch, man. Like who no one cares about original content. Actually, that's actually not true. People do care about original content. It's just I think YouTube just favors the FNAF. You know, they favor that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even want to talk about it, bro. It's just such a deep bullshitty topic, it's like, I'm doing commissions. I can't even talk about, like any of that stuff either, because I don't want to piss anybody off.
What kind of commissions are you doing exactly? What kind of commissions?
The ones I should be working on right now. Also, not FNAF.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lie. Yeah, I kind of, I don't know, man. It's one of those topics, man. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just the case. That's just the world we live in right now. I kind of want to change that, I want to be part of the group of people that can change that. But, the question is, how difficult is that going to be? Like, I feel like it's possible and it can be done. But the question is, who's willing to go to the very end and see things through. But it's just one of those things, man. It's a hard topic to talk about. But that is a good video, though. That is definitely an accurate representation of shit. And yeah, and like that's interesting because also I guess he does have a lot of subscribers. Where is it? Oh, I closed it, but
4,000 something.
Oh yeah, so I guess that's not that many, but
yeah, but remember he was making videos, pretty long ones, before
before the internet changed into corporate machine.
He has had a lot of good, cinematic videos from 2015, 2016. Maybe a couple from 2017, which he has since privated, and he only had around 1,000 subscribers then.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I make a few memes, and then I get 20-something thousand. Like it's unfair.
Yeah, but I mean, your stuff is good. I mean, when we're talking like, what we're really talking about is what's unfair is the thing I'm doing right now with who's, with the whats.
I hate to do it.
That's unfair if you ask me. Like that's unfair. Like the fact that that's a multi-million thing. Like that's a whole enterprise that it just works around that. But I don't know. Like, dude, it's. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, your stuff is actually good, is good content, even if it's short and meme-like. Like, it's still good. You know what I mean? Like,
suppose.
What?
I said, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, that's good, but like, what's not good is, it's like looking at an SFM animator who just started animating 3 days ago. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, like that they shouldn't be animating, but everything is built on that enterprise. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like that's what YouTube promotes is that, because there's things in place where that's where it favors. That's where things are favored. So whatever. I can talk about that kind of bullshit for hours, dude. About my discontent for how things are, but we just kind of gotta cope. You gotta cope with that shit. So that's a really good YouTuber, man. I'm gonna watch a lot of his shit later. I'm gonna watch probably all of it later.
Yeah.
With the sound on and everything. Yeah, that's the kind of there's a fight scene that I want to do with this series that's like what he did. And also Bean LM is another person who I like, who makes good action. But action like that, you know what I mean? Like it's very Call of Duty-ish, if that makes sense.
Well, I wonder why.
Like CQB, I'll say that. CQB.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne, shaky cam, fucking.
Hopefully not that shaky cam.
Yeah, not too shaky. I can't, given animated textures and parallax, I can't. But that's kind of the idea, though. Is like that sort of CQB sort of thing. Question is how. That's really the question, is how is it going to happen? I'm actually let me show you this session that I made.
I'm gonna be back in like a minute.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Dwayne Office Night. Is this it? 2/17/21. Dwayne Office Night. I don't think so. Hotel. I think it should be called. I don't know what it's called actually. Let me see. Death Stranding test. What the fuck is this? Death Stranding test. I don't know what this is, but I'm kind of curious to open it. Cyberpunk Go. I think it would be this fight scenes test. Could be map test. Let me open this one and see if this is it. I think this is it. Call of Duty. Oh my god. Fucking crashed.
Okay.
Fucking crashed, bro.
Oh, Cyberpunk fight scene tests.
Yeah.
DMX and RIP it crashed.
Yeah, RIP crash. Mr. Icy says, I don't even know what Death Stranding is. Spank him.
Yeah, the game.
It's a game by this guy. This Asian dude. Cyberpunk fight scenes test, yeah. So this is the session I want to show you. I actually don't really want to show you it because it's not really done and it's also not really, I don't think it's good yet. But I basically want to turn this map into a cyberpunk-ish map, so to speak, because I have to do it in a map. Which is unfortunate, but I think that's what I have to do. And just replace all of the... Let me get rid of this. Matt. Secular.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Because I think if I can turn this into, I don't know. Because the thing is, the place has to be, so you could see it on my screen, right? Like how it looks. It has to be cyberpunk enough, but like basically I can't use that method of animated textures and stuff. Like I can't use that for that fight scene because I need it to interact with the background and stuff, like, you know, bullet holes and shit and blood effects, like things like that. So it has to be a scene build at least. And then I chose a map because the layout of it makes sense, so to speak. I kind of want a sort of layout where the character follows a certain path. So, okay, the path I'm following, right? So basically the characters come in from the door, right? So I got to figure out how to do that, right? They come in through this lobby. Well, one of them does. She shoots everybody. So I don't know if you know the story. I guess I shouldn't spoil it here, but I guess no one's really listening.
You gave me the script.
Right. So at the end...
Although I need to reread it. I did read it, but I need to reread it. It's been a while.
Okay, so, well, it's okay. Like, basically, she becomes a murderer. She just basically just kills everybody.
Yeah, let's spoil it to all the viewers, you know?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's listening. It's just like maybe one or two.
Yeah, I
people.
know, but all the streams are public, so
Yeah.
once you're done with it...
We're 4 hours deep, so I don't think anyone's gonna cross it. It'll be an Easter egg for people then if they find out.
Right.
So yeah, like she becomes a murderer, basically kills everybody. She goes in, she does her business here in this lobby. Then one of the guys goes this direction, right, to go into some basement, right, to do something cyberpunk-ish and hack shit, right? And Geo goes this direction down this hallway. You know, she meets a bunch of guards, disposable henchmen, so to speak. They're all pretty challenging, so to speak. So, you know, she gets hurt, you know what I mean? Like, so she starts bleeding and shit, and like she gets fucked up, and she takes, you know, lots of drugs and stuff to stay alive, so to speak. Then she goes this direction, right? Yeah, so she goes this direction. and then she goes back this way, and eventually she goes back to the lobby where she goes to the elevator. And this syncs up with the script. So when they meet back at the elevator, they go up. And I don't have a floor layout, but I think I was just going to use the second floor of this place as well for the roof, for after they get off the elevator. And, then eventually leads to Dwayne's office. So like, it eventually goes into Dwayne's office, which will be somewhere over here somewhere, of that scene build, of the scene build that I showed that you see in the storyboard and stuff like that. So, it would be a cut into that. So, it just has to be an elaborate scene build where those things make sense, Yeah. But this so far is what I have just in this shot of what it's supposed to kind of look like as a conceptual idea. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to show you, since you're here, of what do you think conceptually of this idea. Ignore like lighting and stuff.
Fine, I think it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think like color wise, like
color? Oh, everything is going to be changed up.
okay.
I think having it be this dark is good, but this lighting would be. I'd completely redo it from scratch. Personally.
So like by color, I mean like color of objects and stuff. Like, do you think like white walls make sense, or do you think that should change to like metallic walls maybe?
Metallic walls would be difficult to pull off in SFM.
No, I have models that look metallic, like metallic wall. Like they look like the Cyberpunk walls to an extent.
I think that it's fine as is, but I do think I would want to personally maybe spawn in a few props that would I don't know, change it up a little bit. Like add more decoration that feels a bit more cyberpunky.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as long as at least you're on board with the idea of what I'm doing here. But yeah, it would be like that guy's video, like how they go through that whole shit, like that CQB kind of style shit. Like that would just be so cool. And it's the last episode thing, but oh man, I really want it to be just as amazing as that, like just a really good fight scene. Like 10 minutes of just, maybe not 10 minutes, but like a good long period of time of just really good action, while she's murdering everybody, murdering everything in sight. Comes a cyber psycho. Okay. So now that I close that, man, fuck commissions.
You gotta do them.
I gotta do them so I can get fucking money. Shit. But I'm gonna do that shit later. I'm gonna open maybe. Continue without saving. This is what I was actually talking about earlier with the office. The top floor, whatever. You've seen it before.
Probably.
Yeah. The fuck is everything?
Crashes.
Yeah, I got to replace this model. I got to replace the model with the real character.
Please tell me that's Dwayne Johnson. Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah. Cyber Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's all animated now, so everything is finished, bro. Everything is done. I'm pretty sure. I just got to replace his model. And I got to fix that clipping there. Yeah, so we spawn in the Dwayne. Man, I still have 3,000 fucking memory used. What the fuck?
Is it models that you have that are hidden currently, maybe?
I think it's because I opened that agency map, and that was
Maybe.
taking up all that space. I need to open up my motion capture software. Man, look how tiny he is in comparison. Well, too big. Okay. Yeah, I would love to actually use characters from the Cyberpunk game. That would be the dream, actually, to have characters from the game.
Yeah.
Just port
I
them
know Brandon
over.
Things right now is working on Johnny Silverhand, but I know that wouldn't be relevant to what you're making.
Yeah, I kind of just want access to NPCs, like the NPCs and shit.
Just like regular civilians and stuff.
Yeah, because they look really cool. So I mean, a lot of them look awesome.
The NCPD would actually be quite fitting to have.
Yeah, that too. There's just a lot of cool like NPCs and that shit. And I know it's possible. I think someone asked a question of like whether. Oh yeah, it was Mars. He was like, "Yo, I need a Cyberpunk car," and I'm like, I don't think anything exists, bro.
No, I can do that. I'm frankly too lazy to go rip from the game, but like
There's
since the
people
game
that'll.
came out, I've been intending on porting the Quadrotype 66 Avenger from the game.
Yeah, I think there's people that do that. There's people that are willing to do that already on the mod Discord, the Cyberpunk Discord, but
yeah, they would just tell me how to do it.
Right. That's
instead of
right.
actually going and doing it, which
right. You'd have to pay them basically, and like I don't mind paying them to do it, but I don't know. Like I haven't tried that yet. But
yeah, I'm gonna get my hands on the Quadrotype 66 Avenger and I'm gonna port it.
Time to open up. Do you have this program, right? You have iPysoft?
Yes.
Okay.
I've used it for a couple things.
Session 1. Why these have different date? Okay, I have to plug in my hard drive. I don't see it. $2021. Okay. I'm looking for. I need to open a document, bro. Hmm. 79195.
Yeah, with this side camera, I can see how during this one movement with her arm, her elbow is just rotating out of position, and it's hard to notice it from the front cam, but from the side cam, that elbow just doing all this weird stuff is really obvious.
Yeah. You're talking about when the elbow kind of pops in different directions and shit?
Yeah. Like the orientation that the elbow is in is not correct
Yeah.
at all. It's like wiggling almost. I'll fix that later.
Okay, exporting. This to database, motion capture, episode 1. Six. What's the name? Stand. How many Fast and Furious movies are there? 10? Right.
Technically, yes, there are 10 because you have 9 Fast and Furious movies, and then you have Hobbs and Shaw. Although I don't know if that really counts.
You know, I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw, and I haven't seen the last one either.
I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw either.
I don't think I've seen 9. I don't think I've seen 8 or 9 or 10.
Well, 10 isn't a thing.
Oh,
9,
so
the
it's-
newest one is 9.
Oh, okay. So it's
and
just
I didn't like 9 at all.
yeah. Last one I saw was the Paul Walker tribute thing, movie
Yeah.
version thing. which
Yeah, that was
a-
pretty good.
Yeah, which was 7. I think that was 7.
Yeah, that was 7.
Yeah, I don't really like the new Fast and Furious movies, man.
I just want them to
Newest
be
one.
like the first and the second one.
Yeah, me too.
Back when car stuff was about cars.
Yo, I don't even. So, like, I guess it turned into some kind of meme where they just like the shit just got crazier and crazier. I guess that just became a meme, an internal meme sort of lore. Like they internalized the memes into lore, like of the story. So now they're going to space and shit and the fucking cars and stuff.
Yeah, I just when I saw that I was like, no.
Yeah, but that's not even
And
what
you know,
I don't
the
like about
ninth
it though.
The 9th movie, I hate the 9th movie for like this one oddly specific reason, other than the fact that they went to space and all that bullshit. But in it, that one during one section of the movie, the villain drives a car,
Right.
and this car is the Jaguar XE Project 7, 8, whichever number they gave it. One sec. XE. Yeah, the XE Project 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't know, the Jaguar XV, XESV Project 8. Okay, long name. Either way, it has Jaguar's wonderful, beautiful 5-liter supercharged V8, which I got to experience this engine myself when my friend rented an F-Type.
Oh yeah, that's sweet,
yeah.
dude.
And yeah, he's looking to buy one, F-Type R right now. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive the car that he rented because it wasn't his. But as soon, like, if he gets an F-Type R, which I'm like guaranteeing like he is, he's gonna let me drive it, which is awesome. In fact, he said that I could use it when like taking someone out on a date.
Oh my god, bro! What a bro, dude.
All right.
That's a
Although I
homie
wouldn't
right
do that.
there.
I wouldn't do that anyways because I don't want to show up in like a nice Jag for like the first date because I feel like that is like a really bad first impression. My car is already nice enough. I don't need like I right now I drive a 2013 Mustang GT.
Oh, okay.
It looks great. It drives great. It's already a nice enough car. I don't need to like, show up in something even fancier because that just gives off the wrong impression. I feel like that's disingenuous. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
But, like I'm saying, like if like later on in the future, like we wanted to go to like a fancy restaurant or something, show up in a Jag instead. Anyway, that engine sounds glorious. It is beautiful. It is loud. It is shouty. It has all these awesome pops and bangs when you get off the revs. It is beautiful. Now, the villain drives this Project 8 in the movie, and they gave it like a Honda 4-cylinder shitbox sound. And I'm just like, Why would they do the car so dirty like that?
And that was in which movie? The
The newest one,
newest one.
Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah,
It was like
it's funny.
this beautiful sounding car, which just gives your ears orgasms every time you drive it. And they're like, let's give it a Honda from the 90s sound. Like, okay.
Bro, it's because they internalized the memes, bro. It's no longer a
No,
serious movie.
if I worked for Jag Corporate and I watched that movie, I would be seething right now.
They probably have beef with them then. They're like, yeah, they probably have some beef with them. Because that's a car movie. That's a car advertising movie. That's probably why they still make them. Is because they make a lot of money with that shit.
Exactly.
With all the placements and stuff.
Jack's so very...
Yo, but I was saying earlier, like, you know, the reason I don't like them isn't just because of how dumb like how ridiculous the story is now. I actually just don't like the storytelling anymore because it's now very cliche and stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's very like the government has made a bio-virus weapon. It's like, the fuck? What the fuck does this have to do with fucking... Like, it's just doesn't make...
Need you to destroy, so you got to take this car and a couple of raggedy rocket scientists that for whatever reason, you know, these car dudes turned into raggedy rocket scientists. You got to strap rockets to a car and go to space, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
you know,
yeah.
Here's the thing. The first like couple of Fast and Furious movies, back when they were like actual car movies, they were technically about heists, but they were like innocent. Like one of them was like stolen cassette players, and the other was like, you know, still a lot. Too Fast, Too Furious was like, I forget what it was, but it was still a lot more minor than fucking, you know, like end of the world shit. Like this piece of technology can hack into literally anything. No one can have it. You know,
Yeah.
like
that was literally the storyline. Was like this. They made some fucking god hack or some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and it was still a movie about cars. Now, granted, as a car guy, it was still very cringe.
Right.
But it was cringe in a lighthearted way, not cringe in the way that the new movies are cringe. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's me and my friend can like enjoy watching the first movies and kind of like laugh about it together, but like I don't even want to do the same for the newest movies because it's just not the same anymore. It's just too ridiculous. It's gotten too out there.
Yeah, now it's just like I don't know. I just think it's just bad. Like the storytelling is just bad, dude. I mean, if they had a good story, you know, I'd still vibe with it because it's always been, you know, kind of silly, but I don't know. The story is just terrible. Like, man, they need to get some new writers on that fucking movie franchise, dude. So yeah, I haven't seen. I think maybe I saw 8. I think I saw 8, but only because I didn't know how bad it was gonna be. So
Here's the funny thing: I actually liked 8.
Oh yeah. That was when they were in the snow fortress and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the movie was ridiculous, but like, it knew it was ridiculous.
Right. It knows it's they know that it's ridiculous.
Of the ridiculousness that it did have.
Yeah.
But I think 9 just took it too far.
Yeah.
They were trying to introduce a lot of elements about like Toretto's past, which I don't think really should have vibed. Like we've gone down this route before. Don't do it again. Like I think it's unnecessary. The villain motivations were too out there. They did Jag dirty. I hate that. And dude, the ridiculousness of sending there's a limit, okay? There's a limit to the ridiculousness that I'll tolerate, and I think going to fucking space goes past that limit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wonder where they're gonna go next. I think they've ran out of places to go. Maybe they go to the center of the Earth or some shit.
Whatever her name is now on a moon base.
The moon.
We gotta bring Nos to the moon. We're gonna race the moon buggies.
Damn, dude. Oh god, that sounds like it actually is gonna happen. Giving me fucking nightmares. That sounds like it's gonna actually happen, dude. Now that you said it, we can't give them ideas.
Wouldn't even surprise me.
Yeah, fucking. They start using fucking dark matter to power the fucking.
Like, I wouldn't even be
cars.
surprised if in the next movie they like, for whatever reason, they like manage to steal some fucking fighter jets and like hook up like a NOS setup to a fighter jet.
A car, just a car stuck to the bottom of the fucking jet. The car stuck into the fucking no, it's a jet powered by cars. So instead of propellers, it's fucking cars. Yo, instead of propellers, it's fucking cars, dude.
Dude, it wouldn't even be surprised me if like fucking like Toretto put the engine in his charger or whatever and like put it into a plane. Like,
and he drove the plane on the fucking land instead of in the fucking sky where it belongs. He's just driving it through the fucking city and shit. Yeah, this sounds like a board meeting. Fucking Fast and Furious headquarters. At the Fast and Furious headquarters, this is the kind of ideas that are going through their mind. They're like, all right. Okay. Sorry, that's too much, bro. I can't. Because I'm thinking about it now. This is too much. All right. All right. I'm trying to fix this guy's eyeballs here. So he moves his eyes.
I'm like
right
thinking
here.
of like a legitimate action scene that like, oh my god, like imagine like there's like a gang of people that have like muscle cars and there's like 4 or 5 of them and they have like these blacked out like super powerful muscle cars and like they want to bring down a building, right? So what they do is like they have grapple hooks in the back of the car. They reverse up to the building and send grapple hooks. Like they launch out of the back of the car into like the 5th or 6th floor, and then all like 4 or 5 of them just start accelerating from the building as fast as they can, and then they try and like tow the building down with their cars.
You're talking about the movie, right? Because that's what happened in the movie, right?
It would like happen in like a feature movie as like a scene that like I fully would expect to see in like a movie. Is like using cars to like do ridiculous shit, like tow down a building.
Isn't that what they did in the fucking last movie? Was they made their cars climb cliffs and stuff with grappling hooks?
Grapple hook thing, yeah, because like a guy,
They're in Dubai or some shit, and they're trying to get up a
that
building.
Was the 7th movie. That was the 7th movie. The guy.
Oh, yeah.
Driving
Okay.
cars between buildings. No, in the 9th movie, or was it the 9th movie? Yeah, it was the 9th movie. Like there's a scene where there's a rope bridge that goes between 2 cliffs, and the villain drives across this bridge, but in the process of doing that, the bridge collapses, and Toretto needs to get to the other side of the bridge, and he can't jump it, so he what was it? Yeah, he the part of the rope is still like on the side of the bridge that Toretto is at. Or was it like a metal cable? I think it was a metal cable. And he drives off the cliff at a crazy angle and tangles up that metal cable in the wheel well of the car, and then when he drives off the cliff with it, and he goes far enough away that it becomes taut, and then the car literally just swings and lands on the other side of the cliff. It's in the trailer.
What the fuck? Yeah, like the Tarzan thing, right?
Like it's
like
straight
some
up
Tarzan
Just
shit.
Cause stuff.
That's crazy, man.
I love it. No, I don't actually love it. There was a point where I would have loved it. I don't know. I think
I didn't see the movie. I can't even judge it, but I don't know if I'll see it because 8 gave me a sour taste. So I was just like, maybe I'm not gonna see 9.
If you sour taste, you wouldn't like 9 at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I heard Hobbs and Shaw was maybe good. I don't know.
I haven't watched it. I'm not interested in it.
I think what's a good movie? that I've seen recently. All I've been interested in so far has been Attack on Titan. But man, I watch movies like pretty much at least a couple every week, like twice or three times a week. I try to watch new movies, but nothing has really caught my interest. Some TV shows like Euphoria. Have you seen Euphoria?
I have not seen. I don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's a TV show about like teenage. It's like a teenage drama, so to speak. And it's a really good show, and like because well, it'll hit you personally because it's like a teenage drama that really, like that's what that like. It's like how do I explain? Like it's very realistic. Well, not realistic. It's not realistic. It's just they hit on topics that pretty much relates to the high school experience, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just dramatized, right? So it's just slightly dramatized to kind of give it, you know, that thing. But I would say it's one of my favorite shows. Like out of the many that I've seen, Euphoria is up there with, you know, things like Black Mirror. I don't know if you've heard of Black Mirror, but
I've watched a couple episodes of Black Mirror.
yeah, and Black Mirror that's just pretty deep, bro. Like I couldn't even finish Black Mirror because of it was just too much for me. Like I was watching it and just every episode hit me like a fucking truck. So I couldn't finish it. So I just, you know, after every episode, I would just stop and just like pick it up the next in 2 weeks because I had to process the show, you know? So Black Mirror was just, I don't know. That shit was deep, yo. So, but yeah, it's up there with shows like that, you know. What is your favorite movie actually?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049.
Okay, that's a good I agree. It's a very good movie. I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie, but it is up there with my favorite movies.
It has everything that I want out of a movie.
Yeah, it's got so much like it did everything right that like you would expect out of that people would expect out of a sequel to Blade Runner. It did that, you know what I mean? Like I don't think anybody else could have done that.
A lot of people were not expecting it to be good. They were just
right.
Like, it's just Hollywood doing another sequel again.
Right, yeah, that's
cash cow again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were expecting, and I was pleasantly I guess I wasn't surprised, but I was more like, yeah, I'm glad I saw this movie. You know, yeah, I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. I would watch it again, but it's just that good, you know, Blade Runner. I think my favorite movie of all time is Inception. So
that's up there for me. That is definitely up there for me.
yeah, like Inception, Spring Breakers. I actually, I was talking to some people in SFM, because I wanted to probe them on what their movies they like. But I brought up Spring Breakers, and I always try to defend Spring Breakers a little bit because I think it's a completely underrated movie. Because like I've seen that movie like maybe 15 times now, Spring Breakers, and every time I watch it, I realize how much I underestimated it on the previous watching. You know what I mean? So like I think I just think like they did so. Like basically you discover something new every time you watch that movie, like about how well it was made. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but I've seen that movie so many times, and it's up there with my favorite stuff. But Blade Runner 2049 is like that's like my 4th or 5th maybe favorite movie, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be 2049.
Yeah.
There's so much about it. Just.
Yeah, 2049. Almost every Chris Nolan movie.
Yeah, I used to think that. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Inception and The Dark Knight are both like, but Interstellar, I had some issues with.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
In the moment, I had some issues with it. I really liked the depiction of all the sciencey stuff in that because, like, I'm a sucker for astrophysics stuff. So, like, the way they, you know, like consulted like Kip Thorne for the depiction of black holes and wormholes was really great. But I had issues with some of the story, the pacing. I think thought was a bit off in
Yeah.
Interstellar.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I agree completely.
I thought some of the ideas that they tried to kind of push forward, like love ascends time and space, I thought was a bit corny.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I know what they were trying to do, but like it was still kind of corny. The audio mix I thought was not that great. During a lot of the louder portions of the movie, it is hard to hear some of the dialogue, and that was kind of like a sign of things to come. Because the same was in Dunkirk, where I thought the pacing was a lot better in Dunkirk, but and I could get away with the audio mix being a bit, heavily focused on the soundtrack and the effects instead of the dialogue because it's a war movie and the dialogue wasn't as important. But Tenet,
yeah.
I did not like Tenet.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you, actually. I completely agree. Like, I think Tenet is like I feel like it lacked it lacked the other, like, you know how like it felt like it was missing, I guess, half of the story, like an emotional side or a philosophical side that Inception had. You know, like how Inception was. It had the perfect plot, right? And then it also had the philosophical side, right? It also had the emotional side, right? The love story, right? It had the love story and it had the philosophical recursion, fractal, like idea of dreams, like, so that was a philosophical story. I think Tenet just doesn't have like this emotion. It doesn't have the same emotional story. And also it doesn't really have philosophical impact. Like, I think it's just a cool plot pretty much. And that's all it kind of had. And it also suffered from the same issues you were talking about, like pacing and stuff.
So to me, I think Tenet is. I heard someone else say this, and I have to agree with them. It's the most Chris Nolan movie that there is.
Yeah.
It's like everything good about Chris Nolan, but also everything bad about Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
To its absolute maximum.
Like a caricature of his style almost, is what it felt like.
Because it had a lot of good Chris Nolan moments in it, like the practical effects and the trippy visual effects and the complex ideas and like the way he likes to treat time. Very Chris Nolan-y. The sound mix was very Chris Nolan-y in a very bad way.
Right.
The fact that he's like, I want my audience to feel the movie and the dialogue isn't important and all that. Meanwhile, also Chris Nolan, exposition. Like, okay, mister, which one is it? You want the audience to care, like to not care about the dialogue, or are you just gonna make the characters have to explain literally everything to the audience?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like that's where the the biggest issues with the movie were just, I'm a physics person. Like, I know a lot about physics and stuff, so I understood all the stuff with the time and thermodynamics and all that stuff. Like, I actually understood that stuff. So I understood the movie, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of the science behind it, but also that's where I felt like that was probably its worst aspect, was just, well, here's the thing. I think if you know the science of it, the movie makes sense, right? So like it makes sense to the, it makes sense if you already know about it, you know what I mean? But if you don't know about it, you have to listen to the exposition. And plus, regardless, you have to listen to the exposition because they're manipulating it in such a way where it's like, okay, well, now there's time travel and stuff.
There's like a story that I have to pay attention to.
Yeah, and so that's where it suffers a lot.
It doesn't matter if I get like the physics intricacies behind stuff. In fact, the more like weird physics intricacies there are, the more I'm gonna pick apart the movie.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of stuff I can talk about when it comes to Interstellar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, but the way they depicted Miller's planet wouldn't work. Also, another part that kind of annoyed me about Interstellar's pacing was the fact that they did Miller's planet first, because Miller's planet is the planet that's closest to the black hole, and ignoring the plot, I like my visuals, right? I think showing off the planet that is closest to the black hole first was a mistake on a visual standpoint, because I think it would have been cooler if they saved all the close-up black hole shots for the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Also, I think it was really stupid on the character, from a character's perspective, where it's like, all right, so on this planet, time moves for every minute on this planet, 7 years goes by on Earth, and it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if even if the planet was habitable, you shouldn't have gone there for the simple notion that people living there
Mhm.
would have so many complications
Oh, yeah.
regarding just the simple fact that the universe around them outside of that system is moving in fast forward in comparison. For
Yeah.
example, you'd imagine humanity wants to resume life as normal on that planet, which means that, we're going to do stuff like send up satellites, GPS. We have to keep track of things like, asteroids. I like currently NASA is tracking something like, tens of thousands of asteroids in the system,
Yeah.
in the Earth, solar system. And we do that because we're naturally curious. We want to know where stuff is, but also because NASA has to keep, is projecting the paths of these asteroids out for years upon years, because they need to gauge what the likelihood of a collision course with Earth is going to be, so that we know a few years in advance that, we can prepare, because it is very feasible with today's technology that we can move an asteroid out of the way. If we know an asteroid is going to hit Earth in 2 years' time,
Yeah.
a simple minor deviation to an asteroid's orbit will be enough to make it miss Earth entirely.
Yeah.
Now imagine if in the Gargantua system, in far outer orbit, we have, comets that are 20, 30 kilometers across. But because humanity is living on Miller's planet, our time frame is messed up. Every minute that goes by, 7 years is happening out there, right?
Right.
That comet is going to complete whole ass orbits around Gargantua in mere minutes.
Mhm.
And if that comet gets deflected off the gravity well of another planet and starts heading towards Miller's planet, how in the actual fuck are we going to predict that? How are we going to track that? How will we know what the hell is happening outside of our immediate space?
Yeah.
Because time out there, everything's going to be moving so much faster. We will not be able to do astrophotography. We will not be able to send satellites into orbit, because the mere orbit is going to be enough to where a GPS satellite that is on the side of Miller's planet facing Gargantua is going to have a different time, experiencing time differently than the same GPS satellite on the other side of Miller's planet, where time is going to be going slower from its perspective. It's going to throw off everything. That planet was fucking cursed the moment that it was revealed that time was that messed up because of its proximity to Gargantua. Who the actual fuck would want to live there, even if it was an oasis? That was a terrible idea. You are all scientists.
Wait.
You should have known that from the get-go. You would know more than I do. You should know that that was a terrible place. You fucked yourselves the moment you landed on that planet. You absolute idiots.
Wait. Miller's planet. So sorry, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. So
This planet is the first planet they go to. It's the one with the big waves.
okay, I thought that was Gargantua.
Gargantua is the black hole itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Miller's planet is the
Is a planet, yeah, with the wave, yeah, and then there was an
yeah.
ice place, right? There was an ice thing.
That was the third planet they went to.
Okay. Okay.
Or was it second? I forget. Either
Yo,
way.
can I ask you a question, bro? I just need a little help, and then I'm gonna end this stream because it's 10 and
Okay.
my neighbors are gonna kill my
Sorry,
ass.
like I got a rant about Interstellar. Like that movie.
No,
Like,
it's okay.
I like some parts of it, but some other parts just make me mad.
Yo, this hand bone, right?
Okay.
I
I'm
wanted
watching.
to stick to his leg, and
Good luck with that.
oh fuck. Is there a bone?
You gotta manually animate it, bro. See, I have that issue right now, funnily enough. I currently have to make Ari put her hand on the side of her hip as she's moving her hip.
You're saying there's no way
technically
I can attach this to say like a bone or something, and then playhead it, and then it'll stick to his leg? Because
that
like
would work if the arms were in IK and the legs were in FK. But they're not.
Okay. Well, I have a script that can do that.
Okay. Because if the arms are in IK, you can probably just lock the hand bone to the thigh bone. And for the duration that you want the hand to stay on his leg, and then playhead it. You know what I mean?
You said I need his thigh bone, as in like his forward kinematic thigh bone.
So you take his inverse kinematic hand,
Right, this one.
hand bone,
Yeah.
right? And you lock it to the thigh bone for the duration that you want the hand to be on his thigh.
Yeah.
Playhead it, and you should be golden.
Yeah, you know what I just thought of? I have 2 copies of this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can lock it to the copy.
Yeah, that could probably work too. If the animation is the same.
Yeah, it'll be just slightly different. But yeah, they're the same. Okay. This says calf, and this says one says thigh, one says calf. Okay, I'm just gonna put it to the calf. I don't know. All right. Once I do this, I'm gonna end this. Okay, just so my neighbors don't kill me. They're gonna start banging, bro. Oh my god, bro, that lady's fucking nuts, man. Something wrong with that lady, dude. So calf, lock to hand, and then playhead. Yep, it worked.
Hell yeah.
It worked,
I see it?
bro. Hold on, I just have to like move these regions real quick.
Yeah, look at that. Hell yeah.
Damn, yeah, I got to do that more often. Using copies and then just
Yeah, and just feather it a bit.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I have to fix this.
Yeah, I'd feather it.
Let me see how far back I have to. Okay, that looks okay. I'll clean it up some more later. Okay. Thank you, brother. I needed that. Needed that help. Oh, what the fuck is this? Look at his arm, dude. Oh my god.
Which arm?
This fucking nightmare arm. The left hand. Oh god. I'll deal with that later, bro. I'm
Alright. Oh yeah. Oh, I love risk procedurals. I have to deal with that myself sometimes.
All right, man. So I'm gonna cut this loose.
Alrighty.
I'll be here tomorrow, man. If you want to come in and jump in, it was fun.
I'll probably hop on.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
busy.
All right. Perfect. All right, man. So I'll see you tomorrow then if you're on. And,
Yep.
Yeah. All right, dude. See you later.
Yep. Talk to you later, dude.
End stream. Good night, guys. Ending stream. Question is, how do I do this?